You say Welcome everybody. We got another NACL OQ Challenger weekend here. Polestar returning once again to go up against the PNWs in what is going to be the final match of the Group C bracket. They're looking to take the number 1 seed. Polestar coming straight into going into the quarterfinals. And we got a banger of a match. Both these two teams winning out their games last weekend.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I'm excited to see if we get at least an Aurelia mid here. Any bruiser throwouts there for that mid lane is going to be pretty exciting. A lot of hype on Pulse as well. Already seeing Pulse win in the chat over there. Prisma, I heard, is a crazy support that can make plays out of nowhere. I heard he was 1v1ing 80 carries and winning as well. So we'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Prismal definitely over on the side of Polestar is someone that we do look out for, someone we want to watch and see. Definitely an anchor of this squad, as well as Oriental into the mid lane. Was targeted a little bit with some pick and bans last weekend, taking away the Galio from him. And then obviously with this being fearless draft, locks in that Ezreal for game number 1, 2. And so that ends up eventually being taken away as well. We did see him in game number 3, I believe, pull out that Talia, and it was an absolute devastating performance there. As well as we got Will coming into the jungle. Very, very disgusting on that brand champion. Let me tell you, if this PNW team has been scouting, they're probably not going to let that through in game number 1. But who knows which side, depends on realistically what each side will be end up picking up. Now, looking at this PNW's team, some moderately well-known names over on there. We got Wing King, we got Moosey in the bot side, and like you said, Purdue Northwest players too. They play collegiately, so these players aren't too strangers of playing with each other and competing at a level like this. So they're going up against what we would consider to be the upper dogs. So right now PNWs are probably the underdogs in this matchup, but I believe they have the power to be able to pull off this upset, especially with what we saw out of them last weekend.
Yeah, when it all comes down to it, it's whoever you trust next to you to make those plays happen. And if you've been playing together through college and into now the Challenger Series, that's really going to help out when you have a team like Pulsar just running it down towards you nonstop, being aggressive as possible and trying to get those wins. And I feel like whoever wants it more is going to take it tonight.
That's definitely for sure. Well, we all know that we have the favorites, Polestar. We're obviously partnered with Polestar for this stream, so lots of Polestar fans into the chat room. So we're going to be rooting for them to come with this W. But as we head on into the draft, I'm excited to see what Polestar actually go with for game number 1. Like I said, last week we saw the Ezreal, the brand, already pulled out in game number 1. We see that the Aurelia already being taken away from the mid laner of PNW. Anti probably going to love that ban there. But Kindred, Will's phenomenal jungle pick. Nobody ever lets him take that champion, because if he takes that champion, he will run away with the game. But I'm excited to see what Polestar have scouted out, what they may be looking to take off the table next. Mundo was played in the jungle last week, actually, from PNWs, but they're going to take away that Udyr, feeling like they're a little bit more afraid of that bruiser jungle. But PNW's also was not afraid to play the Aurora. Whipped it out into the top lane last week. So if it doesn't get banned here... Oh, there we go. I was going to be afraid of it coming out.
Yeah, I was excited to see that one happen, because I haven't seen any pro play or, of course not pro play, but any of the amateur leagues that are going on right now. With that being said, though, PNW, I noticed with their team comps, like to do a front-to-back traditional style, aside from that bruiser mid lane that we've seen in their last 2 games here. But Pulse definitely has to figure out where their identity wants to be with this one. That MF is a huge consideration here. They should be able to make a front-to-back with that as well, or just a dive comp if they wanted to. PNW can have to be on their toes this whole game here, with that Leona being first picked out for PNW, taking away that pick from Prismal. And I'm not sure... both AD carry players here kind of play about the same champions, besides the Ziggs that I've seen shown on the screen. Lucian, Leona... I haven't seen that in a long time, and I'm excited to see the movement here from Wing King.
Still could be thrown into the mid lane. That's 100% a possibility. Maybe they're trying to get that prio ADC pickup, but instead they're going to go ahead and take away the Braum. You take Leona away from us. We're just going to go ahead and take Braum, counteract that Lucian, as well as, well, hey, you're not going to take Braum to counter our MF, so you know, we're just going to take that off the board anyway. Will, going to be on Brand once again this game around, and that could be something you did not want to leave through the draft board. Will has been disgusting on this champion throughout NACL, OQ1, and right so far in OQ2, making a name for themselves, as there's going to be the Jhin. So it's probably going to be Jhin Leona bot side with Lucian thrown on over to the mid lane. But now this begs the question, okay, what is Oriendo going to play on into this? Yone's already banned away. Ezreal is off the board. Galio is still a pick of his that's phenomenal. Against Lucian, though, I don't really see him pulling it out. We might have Talia game 1.
Yeah, really everything's on the map here, but you can see that Pulse is going for a full-on damage style. They're going to try and blow you up as fast as possible. I like the Jhin pick out of here, trying to get some poke down, maybe get a couple of 4 shots down before MF can ulti. And I like the Kennen ban as well over on the Pulse side here, because I do believe PNW just has an easier way of getting in there with that Leona. If they throw a tanky jungle top with this, they definitely should be able to have an easier team fight against the damage. And a Karthus out of there, is that jungle?
Oh, no, 100%.
So that should be pretty easy to keep up with the clear time of Brand. I like that pickup there as well. If you can just push that R, keep those people on half health before you fight, that should make it a lot easier for you to have that back to or front to back fight style. But there's still it's a 50-50 in my mind here with the champions on the board so far.
Okay, Oriendo's whipping out the Syndra. We got the double mages, mid and jungle duo. I like to see it. I like to see it. This is going to be a fun game here. While Hoarder's going to be rounding up the Jax top side. Okay, so it's going to be Prank going with the Gragas. Okay, interesting matchup we're going to have here. Not too typical of a matchup we see going head to head. But if Azog can get a couple, maybe a gank or two from Oriendo in the early game, could get that AD hyper champion scaling online faster. Gragas can, if the lane goes kind of even, Gragas has an AP champ and a strong tank bruiser, can realistically just get ahead later on into the game. So you really want to get that Jax online as quickly as possible to be able to beat out this Gragas in that early game. So maybe expect to see some ganks from Oriendo moving towards the top side, as well as with you having that Jax and the MF, you want to kind of prior the Void Grubs a little bit because of the tower taking speed that those two champions combined end up having. So, but so far, which composition are you kind of leaning towards here? I know I'm favoring this this Polestar Syndra Brand combo.
Yeah, I mean, clear speed and then first blood's me the name of the game here. But with that being said, it all comes back down to basics, and PNW does have the basics here to make that happen with that Karthus R and the Gragas frontlining there with the 280 carry with the Leona as well. And Lucian might be in trouble here.
It's possible. It has to start the E though, so that's going to be great for Oriendo on this Syndra. They can start the E there on that. That Lucian's going to mean that he could play a little bit more active in the laning phase. Doesn't realistically have to be worried about getting hit by those Qs when going and walking up for farm on the mage, and look to take a trade against this Lucian. So forcing that cooldown is pretty phenomenal. Meanwhile, we have a little bit of an invade kind of happening bot side. While Mezzo's dad's going to be starting on blue buff, but so will on this Brand. So Will's going to be pathing down towards Azog and Prismal here, trying to get that bot lane a little bit of an early advantage, as Wing King's going to eat a misfortune Q there. But Mezzo's dad's looking to move towards the top side and get Gragas realistically. Maybe go for an early gank with this Gragas and try and shut down this Jax. That could be a great win con for this BNW team.
Yeah, it all comes down to who's going to be aggressive first here. This bot lane is a huge potential for Pulse here. That MF can out damage the Jhin pretty quickly in this early stage, especially level 6 on as well. If Jhin can get ahead early, though, and keep up that style, as Lucian and Syndra are running around in circles trying to get damage off as well. And there's so many X factors here on both sides of these teams, but Pulse are going to play perfectly here on these champions. It's a do or die style for them right now. MF being the insurance card, though, in the back end. So if they want to dive top or dive bot, it just really depends on where they're going to go with this damage here. Brand is already clearing that bot side. Karthus keeping up as well. And there's a huge wave down here for Pulse.
Order is going in, lands the stun onto Prank, so has a little bit of a health bar advantage here. Maybe he wants to go for some sort of dive. Eats a barrel throw though. In the meantime, so just looking to shove this wave under. Gotta be careful though, because Karthus is lingering around just around the corner. So it could go wrong for Hoarder. Hoarder last weekend we saw picking up champions such as, you know, the Camille, the Aatrox, the Jace, really put on a clinical performance last weekend on a lot of these champs and was able to be a sort of win con and factor for the team to kind of play around. Whenever he TP'd into a fight, it was always that he made his presence known and was able to turn a fight around and win out a fight for this Polestar team if it was something was looking dire, something looking grim. So I'm going to be expecting that kind of level of play coming out of Hoarder. And a champion like Jax, it's just so easy to just find those TP flanks, come on in with the stun proc, and just maybe 2-3 man stun, get onto that back line, and just blow them up while Azog and Prismo are just doing the work with the bullet time, and Prismo's just putting up that shield to be able to keep him alive. Meanwhile, Will's coming down to the bot side, looking for a level 4 gank here. Prismo's going to get that engage first. The stun's going to be procced up, but the barrier out of Wind King's going to come down, but it will not matter. But First Blood does go over to Wind King in the 1-for-1 trade as he finds Prismo.
Yeah, Jin not being able to keep up with the pushing power of MF and Braum right there, creating a huge dive potential for that brand. Great job of him recognizing that. But Jin getting the win out of that one, I would say, with the First Blood, already going to grab half an item there as he makes his way back to the lane. Karthus is down here now, but I mean, that First Blood off that dive is really going to make a difference for the lane after this. Braum going in the mid lane could make something happen, but great dodge there by the Lucian. It's going to be a weird lane to watch, as well as Syndra not being able to deal with the amount of input here from Lucian. The consistent damage there from the Lucian and the autos as well really keeping Syndra on her toes, but that should be an easy way for them to scale if they can keep the pressure off of them.
Yeah, Linking and Muzi already did notice that the Braum was spotted out into the mid lane, so they're going to go ahead and push on this wave underneath the tower. Realistically, no threatening power coming out of Prismo or Azog. Muzi has to cancel out the back. Prismo maybe taking a little bit too far of a step forward, but the snare's going to end up missing. The Zenith Blade's not going to be finding an angle to connect either, so it's going to be the bot side of PNW is taking a little bit of a safe recall here, while we see that the pings are starting to come out on the Void Grubs, maybe looking to gain up that vision as the first set of neutral objectives are coming online across the map. Lil into the bot side, maybe going to check up on this dragon. But Meslo's dad already over on this top side. We see pings are coming out, maybe looking for a potential gank onto Hoarder. Prank lands the knock up, looking for potential barrel toss for the slow. Meslo's dad has been spotted out on the control ward now, so that's going to tell Will, hey, this dragon is free to take because I have a full bot lane prioritization. Meslo's dad's going to have to trade out for those Void Grubs.
Yeah, great job by Will on this brand as well to recognize that they can split the map pretty easily here with that dragon being started already by the brand. They have full control of the bot lane too. Prismo has some outstanding lane presence right now on this Braum. Being able to walk a Leona out of her lane is insane to me on the Braum right now. So Prismo, definitely a player to watch here in the series as that dragon will go down. And top lane looking pretty in a bad position here. Hoarder flashing immediately.
He flashes the barrel toss. Raccoon's going to be able to come down. He's trying to heal it back on up as much as possible with that door and shield. Maybe needs to find some sort of grass proc. Gotta be careful though. Meslo's dad's right around the corner. Don't believe he was spotted up. There's no ward in that tri-bush there. But they know that the Void Grubs were taken topside, so they gotta be wary that Karthus is hanging around. Meanwhile, bot side, Azog able to find a kill straight onto Wind King. Maybe they're looking for another re-engaged Zenith Blade out of Muzi. It's going to help him escape. He flashes out. Will is able to find the stun connect though. Looking for the W proc, but he gets another stun off. Muzi with a quarter of HP. Azog forced to proc the barrier just to not die to the tower shot. Nearly went 1-for-1 in the bot side, but instead well, it did go 1-for-1. Could have went worse than 1-for-1. But Azog able to find a pick under the counterpart is going to mean that this Jin's going to lose out on a ton of resources in the bot side.
Muzi, slap that one in your montage, because what a way to get out with the Zenith Blade onto the Braum and get out of there, get that kill, and make it even. But Brand's putting a lot of pressure here in the spot lane. and he is hanging out still in the spot lane at a quarter health as he walks away from the Jhin. Jhin not having the ulti up yet as he is level 5. And we're just seeing a lot of action here, but not too much creating a lead on either side of the teams here. Gold's still pretty much even. Grub's gone for the side of PNW, Dragon gone for the Polestars, and there's a full bot jungle here to clear for the brand. I'm just wondering where these teams are going to go to team fight next in this game here. Jhin has
hit by the make it rain. The bullet time comes out too, and the barrier is forced out of Wind King. Will Prism be able to find the stun off though? Wants to get the kill on over to Leona, who gets the Q bounce straight off of Muzi. Muzi still not level 6 yet. Does get stunned from Prismal's passive. As Azog they found that level 6 power spike and they took advantage of it in this bot lane. Azog putting up a clinical performance here with a 30 CS gap and 2 kills above his lane opponent.
Yeah, Jhin not able to get any footing here in this bot lane. MF having a great show tonight with 66 CS to 38 here. You're gonna see if that carries out to the rest of the game, as that MF's gonna be a lot of their damage here starting out in these team fights. Top lane still pretty much even, but that CS difference is insane as well in that top lane. 75 to 54 for the Jax. The rest of the team here is pretty much even in the jungle and the mid lane. I don't really see anybody can really be a star here on PNW. They're gonna have to use their teamwork here to get this going. Mid lane is gonna have to flash away, as that was pretty close there. Braum almost hitting that ulti.
Yeah, coming on in with the cancel, Prismal trying to find the Braum angle with the unleashed potential power. They're just trying, get a 100-0 combo straight onto this solution, but unfortunately not able to find it. Will pinging up that Meslo's dad is around the corner in the area. Requiem is going to be back online now. Lucy comes over the wall. The Zenith Blade not able to find much of anything, but Scatter of the Weak is going to stun up Ajun. Prismal going forward with the Unbreakable Will, trying to get a stun proc off, but will not be able to find realistically anything. Oriental half HP as well. They got to be a little bit careful here. One engage off Muzi could spell disaster for this immobile mage, as the Solar Flare is going to be back online, and Meslo's dad and Muzi are wrapping back around, looking for an angle. Reku is going to be procced, and here comes Prank. Culling is committed. Prismal unable to find this shield for Oriental. Has to burn out the flash. Prank starting to run down this mage now. Will goes forward with the Pyroclasm, trying to at least bite back in terms of damage, but Oriental unfortunately will fall here. Another Scatter of the Weak just to be able to delay this. Mate, he's pathing straight towards Hoarder. May be able to find a kill. Prank is definitely going to be within lethal range if Hoarder can get over the wall with the Grandmaster of Arms. And there's no way Ariana lives this. Here comes Prismal going forward as well, trying to get the stun proc maybe on a Meslo's dad. Going forward as Hoarder gets one stun. Grandmaster of Arms committed, and he finds the jungler. Meanwhile, in the bot side curtain call, just gonna have to force out this wave as Winking almost loses out to Azog once again. But holy, Ariendo just escaped like Houdini.
Yeah, the escape of the century right there with Ariendel. And how about Prizzle being there as well to help out Hoarder, getting that kill onto the Karthus as well. Making a play out of nothing is what great teams do, and Pulse is showing why they are so far ahead in this playoffs right now. The team to beat for sure, as that second dragon is going to be spawning as well. And I still can't believe they survived that one. I thought Citra was gone for sure.
Maybe a little bit of a miscoordination here between Ariendo and Prismal trying to catch out this solution. Unfortunately, the Scatter of the Weak went a little bit wide as Ajun was potentially about to face check that bush. Meslo's dad eats the Winter's Bite though. It's going to get slowed up a bit. Prismal is trying to ping out. They want to find this jungler going into this second track, but Muzi maybe the one stepped a little bit too far forward. Winter's Bite's going to be able to connect. Can he get the passive stun proc off though? Muzi goes in with the Zenith Blade. Is immediately stunned on out. Can't get the Solar Flare off either. Winking trying to get the snare off with the Jhin, but is unable to connect. Culling's going to be committed onto Will, and Ariendo's going to be there just to body block the back half of it. Health bars are a little bit weak. Requiem is nowhere near being online for Meslo's dad. Is going to be turned around on though by Will and company. They absolutely decimate. Will has to flash away from the snare from the Jhin, but Prismal's going to flash forward straight onto Ajun. Winter's Bite's going to slow him up. One more hit will get the passive proc. Ariendo is there for the follow-up damage as well. Scatter the Weak just to be able to execute that Lucian. And second dragon of the game will be given over to Polestar.
The spacing, the moves, the team fight capabilities of Pulse right now. You're seeing a big problem with PNW's champ pool is the range of both of these AD carries. Lucian, short range. Jin, short range, but gonna get a kill onto the MF right now as Muzi gonna finally get that last stun onto MF. MF will get a shutdown over to the Jin, but yeah, that short range is really their downfall right now on the side of PNW. Karthus trying to get revenge as well.
And as that comes up, gets the smite proc onto Will, who might be caught between a rock and a hard place. Wayne King able to pick up 2 kills, a shutdown into the bot side, and a kill over onto Will, roaming up into the river. So they're finally getting this AD carry kind of back into the thick of things, back into this fight, PNWs. But MF already having that BT completed, it's going to be a little bit difficult to fight in this bot side. If Prismal is able to find some sort of engage, some sort of punish, meanwhile Hoarder and Prank just going to continue to go back and forth against each other. Hoarder has picked up a kill. Meanwhile, it was Ariando roamed to the bot side, able to find a kill straight onto Muzi. Didn't even need to proc the ultimate either. I hope we can. Okay, it was a DC.
No.
But this is a good thing because we can get a replay on what actually happened there, because the team isn't fighting, which Polestar loves to do every 5 minutes.
Yeah, we had some hype going on here, as we do see that Prismal came right back down to the bot lane after MF was 2v1 down there. Oriendo coming to help out here in that tri-bush, and they baited Muzi right into the tri-bush here. It was going to get some vision as they get locked down. Syndra hitting every ability. Ignite going down from Prismal. The scatter hitting Muzi. Muzi trying to run away for his life, but just nowhere to go as the continuous damage from these Syndras is way too much right there. We're going to see that a lot right now as Pulse is just being very confident in whatever play they make. And PNW is not going down without a fight, though. They are able to make plays off of the mishaps that happen between these couple of instances here. 14 minutes in, we'll see if they can try to fix these mistakes that have been happening in the early game so far. This game is not too far gone yet. Only 1,000 gold and 4 kills up for Pulse. And it's anybody's game still, but man, the champions here on Pulse do so much damage, and they are so continuous. They have all the range as well. PNW really have to get in their bag here and make a huge team fight happen if they don't want this game to run away from them.
Yeah, and the lane swap timing is perfect for the side of Pulse. Their Ariando into the bot side has TP online. Ajun at the moment does not, so Ariando's going to have that little bit of a macro advantage. We see Mezlo's dad's actually roaming straight on down. I'm not sure if he was spotted on vision at all, as Culling was committed into the bot side trying to find an execute onto Ariando. Meslo's dad coming over the wall too will be spotted out if he shows himself to Ariando. Yep, the jungler is going to be spotted now. Skylarlake just to be able to push him away. The Rift Herald is free for the taking, and they might potentially want to take that straight to the mid lane and shut down this turret. We see pings toward the top side though. Prank is going to be able to land the bomb ball onto Hoarder, force him under the tower, going to be eating up some turret shots. Hoarder's going to continue to push on forward, though, because the team is coming in for backup, but they got to get Prank to walk a little bit farther forward. Make it rain into the bullet time. He's going to force out the flash, though, but a Rift Herald, I believe, was spawned up here. Yep, it's going to be crashing. Will charging that one in straight to the tower. They're going to lose the top side tier 2 as well at the same time. So that gank into the bot side opened up this entire macro top side play for the side of Polestars, and they're running away with the gold now. Almost a 3k gold lead that they're starting to build on up for themselves.
Here comes that gank in the mid lane from Muzi, trying to make something happen here as they're feeling the pressure on the PNW side. Pulse is relentless in their gameplay right now. He hits
Zenith Blade straight onto Ariando, has to force the unleashed power. Scatter the Weak gets the stun off under the turret of all places, and Ariando collapsed back with a kill. Winking gets slowed on up. Mesosad is going to have that Requiem soon. Will he decide to pop it as soon as it comes off cooldown? The health bars are pretty low. We'll be able to cancel the backs with Malignants. May be able to even find a kill, but it's not going to be ripped just yet. So not going to have that cleanup. There will be time for the recalls to come out of Polestars to heal straight back on up. We got about a minute before this next dragon. They're going to want to be at full HP coming into this one because it's going to be their sole point dragon. Oriendo TPing towards this top side. She's going to be able to stop Ajun from being able to take this solo turret. But that means that Ajun is going to have that TP prioritization going into this next potential dragon fight. And it's looking as though Meslozak coming out of spawn is moving towards the top side. Maybe has spotted out Will, wants to be there for a little bit of a counter gank. Will knows he's on a ward, coming straight on up, wants to find the kill with Ariendo. Requiem's going to be committed. as Prank TP's into the top side wave as well. Calling is coming straight on now. Muzi coming in with a perfectly timed flank. It's the stun off on Oriental, and the shutdown goes straight on over to Ajun. Will is forced to flash on over the wall just to be able to escape. Meanwhile, it's Hoarder picking up a bot side tier 1 while all the conundrum is happening into the top lane.
Huge flash from Muzi. Muzi is trying to match the pressure that Prismal's been giving to him all game.
They can fight this. They totally feel that they're in a position that they can fight this. The problem what's going to be committed to. Here comes Ajun. Little bit of peel, little bit of backup as the turret ended up falling. Will and Prismal are continuing to pressure this. It's going to be Azog roaming around into the tri-bush. Will be spotted now. They know that the 80 carry is there. Will trying to get in there, trying to find some sort of passive proc, some sort of stun, some sort of slow. And there's no turret for them to retreat to. They're caught out in a 3v1 in the middle of nowhere because Ajun left and escaped with their life, trying not to get a kill. Another kill over as a double kill will be picked up for Azog on this misfortune.
There's been a lot happening here, but let's just take a second to really recap on what's been going on right now. Look at the macro from Pulse. We're up from like 28,000 to 34,000 gold in a matter of about 3 minutes here. They took 2 towers in that top lane, and then they kept being aggressive while the whole time Hoarder was in the bot lane here. They're playing aggression to keep everything off of the map for Hoarder. As got the flash
this
here.
is not a great place to be. Goes golden though within the culling, but the Bomba is going to be able to set up that 4th shot kill. We see pings coming out. Hoarder with the TP flank, trying to find the stun off onto Ajun. He's not going to be able to find it though. Is continuing to run down this mid lane. The carry is going to flash up the Jin stay. The culling's going to be committed, but it will not matter. Hoarder is able to find the execution onto this Lucian, and now they want to move on, shove out this mid wave, get that prio, and potentially move to this dragon. It's a great bullet time. The damage is absurd, and going in is Muzi off the back of the solar fire with the Zenith blade straight onto the AD carry, trying to be able to find the kill up, but is not going to be able to. As Will finds an ultimate bounce straight onto Mezlo's dad. That's the enemy jungler gone. That's dragon free for the taking.
Pulse reminds you of a pack of wolves right now. One wolf goes down, the other 4 are going to come and get revenge no matter what, at the cost of everything, and that's what they did right there in that mid lane, as Oriental took the brunt of about 4 ultis right there, and as soon as he went to a gray screen, boom, 4 players from Pulse come right back to that mid lane and take over the game here. They are using their team fight capabilities and the damage of the champions that they picked here to just make every fight and any fight happen in their own style. As I'm blown away about how many fights have just been happening in a matter of 20 minutes here, and they've been great fights too. It's not like they're A-ramming, it's not like they're running it down any lane. They are very precise and calculated on what they're doing right now. I mean, it's like watching a surgeon work right now with Pulse, but PNW still trying to make some damage happen.
Oh no, Hoarder maybe caught out here, has realistically nowhere to run to. Will coming in for reinforcements just to be able to help out this top side laner and maybe potentially threaten a kill. Mezlo's dad is really low on mana. Hoarder's going to take that Hex Gate. Did they spot Mezlo's dad though? I believe the far side maybe have caught a glaring vision on him. Let's see if Ariano, they W the tri-bush. Ariano has to know now. Yes, needs to turn around. There is the Karthus. Unleashed Power is going to be coming straight on us. Gotta finds the stun. Will comes on for the cleanup, and they're able to pick it up. But that's a great opener to potentially move straight for this Baron. Requiem's going to be procced, maybe trying to find the kill into Prismal, but that's one tanky support. He's not going to go down without a fight. Pings are coming straight on, and with Brand and MF, this Baron is not going to last very long.
I've never seen a team win 3 fights in 3 different spots at the same time. We do see a TP coming in from Prank as he's going to try and stop this Baron from happening. If this Baron gets away, this could be game over.
Yeah, Prank going on in. You already used up the knock up. The sun's already down, and Hoarder goes in for another one and forces the flash out. Azog, one more auto. No, he's able to get the kill. Will finds it with the burn passive damage. Another TP into the same bush. If it didn't work with one player, let's try it with another. Ajun throwing bodies at this Baron. The health bars are low, but the escape is happening.
I am for a loss of words right now. Pulse are the most aggressive team I've ever seen in my life play right now, but they make it happen out of everything they're doing right now. That Baron was so close. I mean, a flick of the wrist from Gragas or Lucian right now would have took down 3 members. It just didn't work out in their favor there, as Karthus has been trying to make plays happen all game as well, just not able to match the CC and the tankiness of Pulse.
Oh no, look at Hoarder. The flank finds Wind King. Wants to get the stun proc off. Will find it. Grandmaster at Arms committed too. And boom. There goes the 80 carry. Now hops on over the wall with Will. Trying to find the kill straight onto Muzi. Stun proc's going to be coming out. Solar Flare for a little bit of self-peel. But it's not going to really matter. And they're going to continue to push this lead. They're having their sights set on a mid lane tier 2, on a bot side tier 2. They got a little bit of a split composition happening at the moment. They want to find Prank though. Prismal with the wraparound. Will's going to be there very, very shortly. Knockup just going to push him on back. Will is able to find the stun off. Ultimate not needed to be committed yet. The Boomba is going to push Will under the turret, but it might not matter. Prismal with the locket proc is going to be able to save his life from that turret. With this Baron buff, they're going to continue to press on forward. Wind King's going to be back online in the map now, so we'll have that wave pushing power, that wave pushing threat returning for the side of PNWs. They're in turtle encampment mode right now. They got to defend against this Baron, but it's really hard against this power that they have. Azog and Oriental have so much burst damage, as well as Will no longer has that pyroclasm, but it will be back online very shortly. Still can put out a ton of damage though on this brand. Muzi maybe looking to go forward. The flash Zenith Raid along with the curtain call and the calling straight on the Azog. Requiem's going to be committed too, but Muzi is extremely low. Passive proc, Scatter the Weak stun off. Will is able to respond with at least one. Azog gave up their life, but it was traded at minimally. As right now, Hoarder's pushing out the top side. TP there from the bot lane. They're going to make full use of this Baron buff, of this Baron proc, as Prank has to respond. They want to take this bot side inhibitor though, pushing on forward without that 80 carry. The first damage onto these objectives is going to be a little bit weaker, but Hoarder is going to be there to be able to pick it on up. Scott, that's the unleashed power, finding the enemy 80 carry. 6 seconds until Muzi's back online in the fight though. Will Polestar be able to find a game ending, a game winning angle here? It's potentially going to be rough. Are they looking for it though? June forced to burn out the flash, and the escapes are starting to come out. Flash forward though. Will just be able to dodge out the Boomba toss, and Polestar, they find all of the objectives that they came for and more.
They broke the base open at 24 minutes here. I mean, this is going to be light work for them to take this game 1, unless PNW has a wish in the stars right now for them to get this game back right now. Dragon Soul going to be spawning in a second here, Soul Point. And with that being said, Pulse went from 28,000 gold to 50,000, but they are not done fighting yet. Hoarder's still on the blue buff here.
Yeah, Hoarder takes the Hex Gate. He's able to find 2 lying in wait for him. Gifted like it's a present, and Christmas came early. It may not be July, it's August though. And Prismo is going to continue to push on forward. Maybe getting the slow proc. The Winter's Bite is going to be able to find Prank. They want to look for a June, but unfortunately not going to be able to. They're pushing out this bot side super minion wave. They want to end the game here. They want to end the game now. 25 minutes are now procced onto the clock, and the entire squad has come up. Scatter the Weak out of Oriental's going to end up going wide. Will pushing forward onto Ajun. The Culling's going to come out, but he's able to go golden. Bullet time is going to force him back on into the Thalanossaurus Prism with the Unbreakable Will. Ajun goes flying into the air and comes crashing down in the respawn room, as Hoarder is going to finish off the Nexus, and Polestar take game number 1.
Great job right there by them. Great job to just keep the momentum going, keep pushing, keep making that snowball into a huge avalanche right now for them in that game 1. What a great way to set the tone, set the mood here, show that they are the team to beat. And here's the problem that we have with PNW. You can't play the same game as Polestar that we're seeing right now. You can't fight fire with fire, and you definitely need a fire truck right now to hose down what's going on with Polestar, because they are hot, and they are ready to go and get that game 2 and end the series quickly here. You can tell they know that they are the team to beat. They know that they are the number 1 team here, and they will definitely show why they deserve to be in the finals tonight here. PNW, you got to go back to the books here. You got to figure out what your identity is. You can't be the same identity as Polestar right now. You got to have a different game style that's going on right now. You can't fight these aggressive fights over and over and over again. I mean, I don't think Cilantro got a break right now. I hope he's got an action tank next to him, because this is insane.
This is my, 6th time casting Polestar? I'm used to it by now, let's be honest. Anyway, as we get ready to head into game number 2, keep in mind that it is Fearless Draft, so none of the champions you saw right now will be played in game number 2, and both 2 teams have to take that into account. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to toss it to a break, get ready for draft number 2, and it's going to be an exciting one.
Prepared next time around. The last thing I want to talk about is Dragoon's Goons. who I think were kind of being a bit lackadaisical up until playoffs, and then they just kind of turned it on when it mattered the most. Um, First, do you agree with that? And second, what do you think you guys would have done against the online Dragoons game?
Yeah, I think going into playoffs, they were kind of dropping a few random games, if I remember correctly. And obviously, when it counted, they were there. And I think our matchup might have been slightly better versus Goons than Lotus. I thought, kind of going into your point earlier of the how we matched up with Lotus, I thought Lotus was going to be our biggest challenge, and in the end they were. But I think, given the chance, we could have given Goons a run for their money, and we're planning to this time. I guess
That
we'll
sounds good.
see.
Yeah, I mean, I liked your matchup against. I wish it was a best of five. Unfortunately, wasn't a BO5. Maybe it
Yep.
gives you more time to adapt and also takes things out of the meta. And we would have seen some. I mean, definitely would have had more interesting games, no doubt. So, with that, that was the last OQ run. But now you come in and there's
Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
Bang, 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 bang. All right, everybody, welcome back. We got a 1-0 scoreline. Polestar sitting at match point, looking to take the clean sweep over PNWs and ride the wave into the #1 seed coming out of Group C. And what a dominant game they had. A stellar performance pulling it out in game #1. We're going to have a completely different draft here in game #2, as every champion we just saw is off the table for both teams. Now, who knows what that could mean? But Heat, you had your first experience here with Polestar, with the NACL. What are you thinking so far?
What I'm thinking right now is that PNW should just wipe that game 1 out of their mind right now and just start fresh, start here. Those champions won't be up there again. You don't have to worry about them. But what you do have to worry about is how you're going to play this game 2 and how you're going to put yourself in a position to win that game 2 to keep the series alive here. You made it this far. You don't want to be 2-0. You want to keep this competitive and keep it going. And the only way to make that happen is to figure out what your identity is here. You can't be reacting to every single aggression that Pulse throws at you. And I mean, we've seen 100 skirmishes, and just throwing numbers out there, obviously, but I mean, that was a high kill game right there. And every 3 to 5 minutes, we had at least 2 or 3 fights there, and it just got out of hand right now for PNW. So if they can really get back on track to who they are as a team, you don't need the Karthus there. I think you throw another tank on top of that, that mid laner for PNW, trying to make plays on that Lucian all the time here, has the hands for it too, was able to outplay the Syndra until Braum just came in that mid lane and tore it up right there for PNW. So if PNW can figure out what they want to do here in this game too, they can really figure out if they can be a contender here in this Challenger qualifier series. Pulse, though, all they have to do is repeat what they did in that game 1. If it doesn't work, then you have a whole nother game in front of you, and then you can worry about it then. Right now, feel confident. Feel like you have the game in your hands. Feel like you have the whole world in your hands right now, because Pulse is the team to beat, and Pulse is just, I mean, they're blowing it away right now with their gameplay.
For sure. Now, both these two teams go as we head into map #2 here. Last weekend, cooked a little bit in the kitchen in game #2. You know, me and Anti were able to witness the Will Nidalee coming out in game #2 against Maelstrom. And maybe Polestar, let's see if they decide to hit another route like that. Throwing another 80 carry champion into Oriendo's path. Last weekend played that Zeri mid. And we had that Nidalee jungler. Will that happen again for Polestars? Who knows what they might be thinking, what they might be cooking. But on the side of PNW is where the real cooking came alive, as game #2 was when they locked in Lee Sin mid lane against BlackRock. And they were able to take the dub. So, will Ajun be locking in Lee Sin this game? I have no clue. But the Irelia and Lee Sin were what he played last weekend. Will they be deciding to look for one of those picks if one or both are not banned away? I don't really see that. I don't really think Polestar feel like the Lee Sin's kind of a threat. But both these two teams loving to cook in game #2. Now, Polestar actually ended up dropping game #2 to Maelstrom. I don't know if that was maybe a draft error. We don't know, or not a draft error. Maybe a little bit too much cooking in the draft. They underestimated Maelstrom going into game #2, and maybe going into game #2 here against PNWs, they're just going to go all balls to the walls and just dominate, put the foot down, just say, nah, you're not going to have any chance of hope with their composition coming up. Who knows what they might have learned from last weekend. But I'm excited because we still have a lot of picks that could be coming out. Hoarder on the Jace, Will on J4. Oriental loves the Talia. Could be seeing the Talia come out. Now, what we really got to pay attention to is what Prismal is going to play. Now, we've told you Heat time and time again that this guy hooks on these supports, has perfect roam timers, and will 1v1 everybody and anybody in the game. Last week in game #3, picked Hwei support. So anything's on the table for this guy.
And that's what we love to see here in these games right now. You don't want to see just a boring 20-minute, then we start fighting. We want to see action, and we want to make it happen right now in this game too, as we already see a couple of familiar faces being banned out already. Aurelia, Kindred, Udyr. Aljun might have to pull out something like that least in mid and pull out something in that mid lane that's going to match the roam of Prismal, or maybe Muzi as well on the side of PNW. If you can match those roams and make those fights even, it's a little bit harder for Pulse to make that happen, but I don't think we're ever going to see an even 5v5 in this next game.
All right, who knows? But Will not gonna get a chance to pick up that Kindred. Always gonna be banned away from him. Ezreal taken away from the mid lane, or even support. Azog's been known to play the champion as well. So what are we gonna be wanting, Hoarder? Okay, Will pulling out the Lilia. Okay, now that's definitely. Excuse me, that is definitely an AP jungler that can make a statement on the Rift, can make a dominant presence. And on a jungler like Will, we already know it's in the right and proper hands. While it's going to be responded with Wind King onto the Varus. And Nautilus, yep, another great engage support still onto the table. If Polestar do decide to go for another engage support route, we've got Alistar, we've still got the Rel on the table. Yep, Rel is going to be locked in. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see something like Kaisa coming up next, or maybe if you want to go for the Zeri, if you want to go the Zeri AD carry route. But they're going to go ahead and lock in Hoarders. Jace, okay, I'm on board with this, and I like it.
That's going to be a whole different playstyle right now for Prank in that top lane. He can't play the Gragas again. I'm not sure what they can pull out in that top lane to deal with. Renekton is definitely going to make it happen. If you jump on a Renekton, you're not going to have a good time unless you're at least an item or two or ahead of them right there. TF can be banned out as well. I'm excited to see how the Nautilus and the Varus play out here. Rel can be paired up with literally anything in that bot lane as well. They could also maybe play an AP bot. Lee Sin would banned out right there as well. So we're not going to be getting the game that we want on the PNW here.
Arnard.
So last ban here, Smolder going to be banned out for PNW. I like that as well. Smolder is a insurance card for a team like Polestar. If all the aggression doesn't happen in that early game, you can make it happen in the late game. And the last ban will be Zeri for Pulse. Let's see if we have any crazy wild cards coming out here for Aljun on the PNW side.
Okay, so the take away the Zeri, so neither one of them going to be locking that as a threat to the mid lane. Which is interesting. I would have not minded seeing Ariandel on the champion once again. So, but what are they going to pick for the bot side? That's kind of what I'm leaning towards right now. Callista Rel, okay. Very great combination. That's really strong together into the bot lane. One of the best combos for Callista. Now I'm looking a little bit towards this mid lane. Need a little bit. Okay, we got Ariandel on the Galio with Callista Rel. Oh, this is going to be a devastating engage combo that PNW are going to have to deal with. You got to draft something a little bit. Okay, burst damage is fine. Yeah, burst damage is fine. Going to be locking in the Ziggs going up against this Galio, but oh boy, I'm excited to watch some more Ariandel Galio.
I am sorry, mic issue right there, my bad. But anyways, like Callista Rel, I'm excited to see that in the bot lane here. The aggression out of that champion, Callista, is one of my favorites. You can have KP at any point in the game right now, level 1. Couple of autos right there and get a huge first blood. On top of that, the Galio can be able to save anybody on that team in a need situation right there, a dire need situation. With that being said, though, PNW is playing this weird game of trying to throw Ziggs into the middle of this one. I don't know where that's really going to fit here. I guess you're going to try and push for towers, maybe have a split push going on. Play a different game, I guess, is the name of this one, which I was asking for, but I don't think Ziggs is going to be the answer, but I do like that PNW is going to try and just go to their comfort zone here. And this looks like a team comp that they would pull out in the last couple of games as well in the last series. So we'll see if they can make it work, but it's going to be an uphill battle right now for PNW. Pulse has everything at their advantage right now. The damage and the CC and the team comp right now out of Pulse. It should be an easy dub for them, but don't count PNW out. They have a fight in them, and you can definitely tell that they don't want to go down without a fight.
So they throw the Ziggs into the bot lane and put Varus mid against the Galio. I don't dislike it. It's Galio good against mages, good against AP. And so you put that Varus into the mid lane. I guess I don't really dislike it in the melee versus ranged matchup, obviously, but I don't feel like the Ziggs is gonna have that sort of threat, that sort of power. And oh my god, Brocoms thinks that Polestar have a 33% chance to win this above PNW, and honestly, I don't disagree, especially when you throw the Ziggs into the bot lane against Kalista Rel. I just feel like Kalista, the execution power is just going to be that much stronger. Muzi gets engaged upon, starts eating up spears immediately. The Ignite's going to be committed to, can't find the stun off, not yet, but Muzi forced to flash away. Responds with the Dredge line, going forward with another dismount. No flash on the support, and first blood straight over to Azog.
Yeah, Muzi, you got out by the skin of your teeth there and went right back in, but you can tell there's some need to make some plays here on the side of PNW, but that was not the play to make. Kalista, you got to kind of treat that like a Draven. Kind of either leave it alone or throw 4 people at it. Galio going right back into the mid lane and getting some poke back down as well. This might be a hard lane for the Galio, but being a tanky champion like it is, it should be able to make it out alive and hit level 6 and make plays elsewhere. Ziggs is not going to have a fun time right now, and with that first blood over to the Kalista, it's just, it's an avalanche waiting to happen.
Yeah, and no flashes either. It's going to spawn and engage immediately straight back onto Muzi. Flashing forward is Azog, trying to find the execution, trying to find the kill, pulls the spears back, but is unable to get that kill straight on off. Meslo's dad is coming on down to this bot side, has to dodge out the Q Azog, but does get hit by it. Tries to trade out at least 1-for-1. Meslo's dad goes under the turret, eats a couple of tower shots. Will, unfortunately, not going to be there to find any sort of cleanup. So great response coming out of the side of PNWs. They bite back and they get at least one onto their Ziggs and another onto the Xin Zhao.
Yeah, great return of plays right there. We do see Will picking up a bot lane kill as well, trying to chase down the Ziggs, as we do have a disconnect as well. With that being said, though, we should have a pause coming out. Oh, he's back in. Will, go in.
Yeah, Will going to be able to clean up the kill straight onto Wind King. Meslo's dad there for the peel again, though. So we'll find the 1-for-1. Meanwhile, speaking of, we go 1-for-1 in the top side. Shattering Strike in the mid lane. No, straight into the taunt, straight out of the Galio. Ajun does have the flash, decides not to burn it. Dredgeline is going to be able to find Prismal, though. They root him up. They're continuing to lay down the damage. The Ignite's going to be ticked away. Going straight on forward. Shattering Strike is going to be flashed away from Ajun. Respect the play. Commend the effort. But unfortunately, does not trade the life 1-for-1.
Muzi doing their best right now to keep up with Prismal and doing a great job at it. Great job by Xin Zhao as well to go in that bot lane and make some pressure happen. Like I was saying before, you got to kind of treat Kalista like a Draven. You got to throw 3 or 4 people at them. Muzi knowing that if there's cooldowns on the Kalista, they can get back in and return fire with that Zig. So great a turn of events right there in that bot lane. But with that being said, Pulse making plays on all sides of the map right now. Jace is also even up there in that top lane. Even after the disconnect, came right back though after as well. Will 2-1, Xin Zhao 2-0. This team, PNW, they want to keep their aggression going. You might see a dive here in the top lane as well. Will is sitting in this bush. Prank does not know.
It will be a while now. Ariano coming straight on up to. Meanwhile, on the bot side, we got a little bit of action going. Musi drops to 1 HP as Wind King is going to push forward. Prismal's able to clean up the kill, though, but it will go 1-for-1 in that bot side. As June able to come on up to the mid lane just to be able to, with that TP, to provide the peel for Prank to be able to live on out. Ariando, though, waiting in the brush, waiting to pounce onto Ajun. Will they catch him out, though? He's going towards that Blasco, and they're going to push on forward to the next push. These wards are phenomenal. Ariano goes forward, gets the knock up. Taunt gonna be straight up following. It could be a 2-for-1 as Muzi walks into the trap as well. Lying in wait is Will and Oriental, the duo that are the backbone of this Polestar team. They come up big in the jungle. Meanwhile, Prismal going forward with the dismount. The satchel charge is gonna be able to help Wind King disengage though. While topside, Hoarder is desperately trying to run away from an angry crocodile. Unfortunately, will not be able to. But
you will find 2 members up here.
No, they're coming up forward onto it. The rage meter is fully proc though. Might be able to get a heal off. Tornado charge. coming straight over the wall, gets the knock up. Will there, unfortunately, he's gonna miss the bowling ball, but the taunt is not gonna go wide onto Prank, and he falls. So far, this Polestar team able to get these 1-for-1 trade-offs at least.
It's insane that P&W has been reacting as best as they can, but Pulse is always one step ahead. You can see that their vision lines are just so aggressive. They have no defensive wards right now. It's all either in the jungle of the opposite side. Will playing both sides of the jungle right now, enemy team and their own team as well. They will split the map though, give that Infernal Drake over to P&W as they take the grubs. Will playing out of his mind with his Galio sidekick. It's like Batman and Robin all over again as they are definitely running the whole map right now. Will already going right into that top lane red buff here of P&W. Zinzao, Mezelstad gonna have to work to keep up with that CS lead here. Muzi here in the mid lane again, trying to make plays happen on the other side of the map of the mid lane here. There's just so much going on in this fight, in this game right now, and this is definitely a great game too. After the banger of a game we had in game 1 here, already 8-7 at 7 minutes in, and I don't see it stopping at all. Do see a 1K gold lead here for Pulse already. If they can keep it, who knows?
Oh, here comes Will again. Border gonna push back Prank, trying not to trade 1-for-1 here, as going straight on in. Lilting Lullaby is gonna be online. Does he decide to use it though? No. Instead was like relying on the charge breath shot from Hoarder, but it ends up missing on out. And he's just going to be able to stay in that pixel bush, provide a little bit of peel. But we got to talk about Will on this Lilia. While the game on paper looks even as Percival gets tossed at Wind King, a play coming out of the Polestar squad. Flash though, Wind King going forward. Azog responds with one of their own to be able to clean up the kill onto the enemy Ziggs. What a play hiding in that bush. Wind King gets caught with their pants down.
Yeah, great job by them. And we have another fight here in the mid lane. Galio gonna get ulted by the Bears.
The taunt comes on out. Oriental may be able to escape. Flashes away in the nick of time. Gets out with their life. Prismo's coming up though for a little bit of peel. Has to flash away from the dredge line though. But yeah, oh my, fighting is happening galore, but it's okay. It's what we sign up for when we cast this squad, when we cast this team. And he knows that Meso's dad is still in this jungle though. Pings are going to be committed. Will be there responding very, very shortly. Wants to channel the Hex Flash, coming over the wall, lets the dismount. Heroic Entrance is coming down 2 for the knockup. The Grant, it's going to be the Crescent Guard trying to poop everyone away, but the damage, they're all stacked on top of them. They're all in melee range, and they're going to be able to find Meso's dad. Maybe looking to turn their sights onto Muzi next. Prismo running him down while Will and Ariando trying to take care of Ajun in the mid lane, and will eventually end up falling in the top side. Prank finds the better out of Hoarder. Wind King trying to be a little bit of peel for Muzi on this Nautilus, shoving out the way the satchel charge to push away the enemy AD carry. Prismo comes on over the wall. The spear is going to find Muzi, who's 3 levels down, mind you, on Azal. Prismo still wants to push this lead. Will's coming over. No flash onto Wind King. Mega Inferno Bomb will be enough to tick away. No, it will not. Muzi is forced to dredge line and escape.
I am for a loss of words right now. We're at a 2K gold lead right now for Pulse already. They have been fighting for the last 3 minutes here, non-stop. We started at the Raptors of the bot lane side here of Pulse, and now we went right to the bot lane as well. Even fought in the mid lane here. You can see the gold leads going on. 1,000 gold here up on Will on the Lilia, and mid lane pretty much even. We're seeing Callista fly through the map right now with that gold lead, 300, so 700 gold right there in that bot lane, almost 1,000 gold lead, and we're going to keep fighting here in the mid lane. Aljun is caught out, does have flash though.
Yeah, Prismo's going to be there for another secondary form of engage. Meso's dad's roaming around the corner too, as well as Muzi. Muzi's still not level 6 though on this Nautilus, so is not going to have as much CC as Prismo will on the Rel. But at the end of the day, though, once Rel goes in, if she misses the CC combo, she's kind of sitting duck in water in the dismounted form. So The pings are coming out. The Void Grubs have been started up, but the Prio realistically isn't there yet for the side of Polestar. They already have 3 picked up. Will potentially can and might want to fight this, wants to get that 4th one. Prismo coming around to the backside is just holding this wave so that Winking has nothing realistically he can do to stop this engage, as Azog should be able to clean up another kill, using the ultimate to be able to help the support escape as well. Meanwhile, they're trying to at least trade out Void Grubs, PNWs, on this top side. Mezzozad's already started them up, and realistically, there's nothing that Polestar can do to try and contest this. They know what's happening, but the Prios aren't there. It's just going to be Ariendo matching, if at all possible, because Hoarder's busy trying to deal with Prank. So Jun gonna hit the blast cone, just gonna deny Will from being able to respawn. So it will be 3 for 3, at least on the top side objectives.
You can see Azog having the game of his life right now. Galio going right back in the mid lane right there, trying to get some pressure onto the Varus as Xin Zhao, Metzel's dad of PNW, grabbing the Void Grubs. Will does not like that, though, as he's going to try and stand face-to-face with him. We got a 3v3 coming on right now in the mid lane.
Yeah, Prismo forced to dismount away. Prank's going to engage, wants to get the shutdown onto Will. Dominant's going to be procced. He's continuing to run down this horse. It's the deer versus the crocodile. At least in a nature battle, we know who comes out on top, but it's on the rift. The tides have definitely turned. Re-engaging once again. Will is going to get shut down, but it is Mezzo's dad picking up that kill. Point and arrow, not going to be able to find much. Mezzo's dad re-engaging on this Xin Zhao. Smite's going to be committed onto Prismo. Unfortunately, not able to get the Shattering Strike off. Wants to continue this rampage straight onto Ariendo, but they don't have the wave. They're afraid of the tower aggro. Meanwhile, throughout all of that, at least Azog was able to clean up a bot side turret, but Winking might be able to claim this mid lane turret here shortly. Taking the 1v1 against the Jun, though. Azog going blow for blow, but you're so far behind, and this Callista is so strong.
Azog having the game of his life right now. Definitely one for the books for that Callista. 5-2 already. Probably can 1v1 anybody in the game right now. Maybe even that Fed Crocodile in the top lane there. With that being said, though, look for Azog to be the enemy number one right now on the side of Pulse. If they don't take down the Callista in any of these fights that are coming up here for PNW, the fight is going to be over by a landslide. Hoarder getting completely demolished here by the Crocodile. Mezzozad up here in the top lane and take that kill as well. And you can kind of see the area that Pulse is looking forward to fight in. It's that mid and bot lane turrets here. They're trying to keep their macro going, even though they've been fighting non-stop. Azog has a huge CS lead, kill lead, huge gold lead as well, making sure that everything's funneled right now into the Callista, so they can start off with that Rel R into the Callista re-engage. Mid lane tower going down, though, into the Galio, Lilia, and Hoarder trying to either get a split push on or fighting. But we have a lot going on in this fight.
Yeah, bot side is looking a little interesting. Mega Inferno Bomb is going to be able to snipe up Prismo as they try Azog to be able to get this support out of the fight, but unfortunately not going to be able to. Winking TPs on into that one from the mid lane. Scuffle that ended up happening. Now, the gold lead, it doesn't really look like it's that big of a difference. It doesn't really feel like it's that much, but when it's all that gold is on Will on this Lilia, it's on Azog on this 80 carry, just finishing up the second item as well. Once we start getting into those 5v5s, they're going to see how impactful that 1k, 2k gold, it might not look like a lot, but when it's on 2 carry champions like this, it's going to start feeling like a lot once we get into these 5v5 skirmishes. And right now, I think in the Rift Herald might be the place where we're finally going to see one of these full-on brawls, while Hoarder is pushing into this turret, has Ariendo as Peel. Prank is understanding that it is gone, is going to decide not to respond to it. And right now, Will is starting to move up. Wants to start this Rift Herald while Prismo roams into the jungle. Might need to help Hoarder escape. Mezzo's dad uses, might have used the smite there. No, it is going to be back on cooldown, but they know that the jungler is sticking around, but the Rift Herald has already been started. It's down to 4k, it's down to 3k, it's gone. Nothing Mezzo's dad can do to realistically respond to this, while Ajun finds another turret in the bot side, at least as a little bit of an objective, a 1-for-1 there, but nothing else on the map realistically to fight for unless one of these two teams decides just to fight.
Different champions, different game, same game plan out of Pulse right now. This is the exact same point in game 1 where we've seen Pulse just automatically steamroll into a game 1 win. They got the Rift Herald, they took down the top lane, and then they worked their way into all inhibs being down as well. If they can repeat that same process, their identity right there is that game plan and making the macro play and keeping the aggression up. You see Prism back here in the top lane trying to fight the Renekton with the Hoarder.
Yep, Dominance and Magnustorm are going to be pulled straight on out, but Hoarder has to try and boop him away. Azog finds the kill. Hoarder it barely scrapes by. The skin of their life. The AD carry comes up, says, I got you. You might not be the carry. Don't worry. It's in my name. I'm going to come up and I'm going to help save you from this top side Crocodile menace. And another kill is given over to the pocket of this Kalista, starting to become a major threat here. We got about 1:45 until the next dragon, and someone's gonna have to get in onto this Kalista and shut them down. I'm looking at Meslow's dad, I'm looking at Prank, but Kalista is so good at getting out of these heavy engages. It's so capable to just take Prismal and just throw Prismal at Prank if he decides to try and go for this engage onto the AD carry. Get the knock up and get away for free. You know, lots of peel as well for this Kalista when you have Oriental and Prismal on 2 team fighting champions like the Galio, like the Rel. Rift Herald not going to be able to find the turret though. Realistically looking to take that one down before heading into this dragon. But unfortunately, most of the members of PNWs were there to be able to respond, to be able to peel, to be able to shut down that place. But we got about a minute before the next dragon.
With that being said here, we're having the same kind of issue that we had in game 1 with PNW. There's no true superstar right now on this team. You can call Xin Zhao that, but Xin Zhao's really just been reacting to the aggression of Pulse right now. And that's why he's been coming up with the kills. Hoarder been trying to fight out this Crocodile the whole game 2 here, and he will not find any spacing at all, as Ajun gonna help out Prank and get that kill as well. And now they should have a 4v5 for this Dragon if they want to keep it up and keep it even here in this game 2, as we are seeing the gold lead stay about even here in that 2K. Prismal always looking for a way to attack, though. Muzi gonna be a point of aggression.
Yeah, no Chains of Corruption are going to be online for Arjun, though. And right now, it's going to be Wing King responding to Ariando's aggression into the top side. They're going to continue to push. They'll be like, okay, you can start the dragon, that's fine. We're just going to threaten your mid lane tower. So if they get the dragon, we get mid lane here. We get your mid lane turret. That's completely fine. You know, Ariando runs into Wing King, trying to roam down from this jungle. I don't know who's going to be able to come out on top for this one. Peel is going to be committed. They're responding, trying to catch out this Galio. That opens up pressure. That opens up positioning in the river for Polestar to go ahead and move on up, to take this spacing, to take this position, and potentially force a start onto the dragon. Meslow's dad is trying to roam on into this river. Going to be a little bit tad late. Look at the TP. That's going to be, I believe, Oriental has the flank opportunity. Has been spotted out, though. Wing King and Prank are responding to this. They will get caught out, get stunned up. Taunt's going to be committed. Satchel charge. Oriental trying to escape with the life, forced to burn out the flash. Prank is committed. The dominance is procced. That's going to be a death charge onto Azog. Mega Inferno Bomb. The Crescent Guardian gets straight onto the AD carry. They found Azog. They found a winning angle. Principal's going to be next to fall. And they might have found this next dragon. PNWs with a mega teamfight win.
Great job by them to get a little bit of breathing room here on this game right now. 19 minutes in, and I don't think we've had any point of stopping here. And I love it right now as we are getting to see why these two teams are so competitive here. They will get that second dragon, a Mountain Drake for PNW, and hopefully they could take this lead and keep making smaller and smaller and smaller leads here to get them back into the driving seat here. We do see the replay going on. If Galio's out of that fight, that's one less peel potential for the Kalista here. So by taking him and then completely going on to Kalista right after that, this is where we see them win that fight. They blow Azog to smithereens here before you can even get that ulti on the Rel. Great shutdown there by Aljun. Aljun might be the hero they need here on PNW to make this fight happen here, make the game 2 win for them, as Prismal goes down right there by Win King. And we're seeing the damage come out of here by PNW. We're seeing the scaling. We're seeing the show of PNW being brought to our eyes here. They've been fighting so hard to get out of the back seat of that car, get into the driver's seat, and make sure they can make themselves known here in this series. And right now, they're looking pretty good at fighting their way back in.
For sure. Meanwhile, we got to be a little bit careful. This next fight that could be coming up, the Baron is going to be online. Both these two teams fighting for contention for this. Polestar still feeling like they have an angle that they can win out. still feeling like they're not playing from behind. The game state kind of is about even. We're approaching 2 items on mostly just about everybody. The Varus is going to have a second item power spike because of that shutdown onto the Kalista. Muzi gets caught out here. Prismo finds a little bit of an engage angle, but he's a Nautilus. He's got so much tankiness. He's got Dredge Line. He's going to be able to get out perfectly fine. But going into this next fight, it's going to be up to Pulsar to find an angle onto Ajun and be able to shut down this Varus. They're going to go ahead and start this Baron. It's a little bit of a ballsy play. They're looking for a flip. They're trying to bait in PNW. They're trying to bait a fight. They want something to happen. They know right now Prank is into the bot side pushing. So if this fight does go awry for Polestar, Prank has the TP coming straight on in. It's a Magnet Storm, heroic entrance, not gonna be able to find Mushi. He gets the depth charge straight onto Azog. They're going for the 80 carry. Azog has to flush away as the Change of Corruption is gonna end up going wide. Ajun, maybe the one committed on here next. Messel's down with Prank are able to find kills straight through the back line. It's Polestar decimated and gone.
Wow. PNW were able to scrap that game 1 out of their minds right now, and they are playing like it never happened. They're playing confidently, and they're playing direct into Pulse. They're able to keep them on their toes right now. We see this replay going on as they are just too early on this Baron. They have the Kalista, though, for the extra damage, but Prismal just going in a little bit too early there. Mezzel's dad being able to take down Will being a huge damage dealer on the team of Pulse. And the rest of the team here, Aljun has the perfect spacing on this Varus, just back and forth as the Crocodile and Mezzel's dad completely taking everything in that fight right there. Great job by PNW. If they can take this lead, they went from being down 2K to being up 7K gold. If they just play macro and play League of Legends like it's designed to be played, but Pulse isn't going to like that at all, as they're going to keep fighting this one out. But if you can just take a step back, take a breather, keep the game going in your favor with that pushing of top, mid, and bot lane here. Even got the Baron on top of that as well. I missed that part. But great job by PNW. They should be making themselves into this game 2 win.
Yeah, right now it's looking like a decided game 2 win. PNW wants to run home with this game. Change the corruption onto Hoarder and the pointed arrow just for a clean measure on this Varus. Varus starting to become a threat. Nearly going to have that Rabadon's finished up soon. So that's going to be a power spike that Polestar not going to want to have to deal with. But unfortunately, Will Prismal able to find Muzi. The Magnet Storm going to be able to clean him on up, pulling him back in after he flashes away. Not able to escape. Polestar still have angles, still have opportunities to find their way and claw back into this game. And it's got to start with getting on to these squishies. Sure, you find out these picks, you pick off Muzi, you get these one-for-one trade, you get these trade-offs onto the people caught up by themselves, like Wind King here into the jungle, give a kill on over to Azog, has to flash out of the way as Azog is gonna get committed on by the Crocodile. Heroic entrance for Peel, it gets the knockup, but Prank already found 2, and they try to engage on a Wind King, but instead they get engaged on, and it could spell disaster. It could even spell defeat right here, right now. It's quite possible. Ajun, no TP though, is to have to recall to the base. Instead, they're going to opt to just take a retreat and go for the next dragon sitting at Soul Point.
That's... I don't know how many times Aljun can bail them out of these fights right now. I know that Mezzel's dad and Prank are doing a great job right now in taking everything and then keeping the fights going and staying alive here on these 2 Bruiser champions that are so far ahead as well. But Aljun really having that damage on the AP Varus. I did not expect that coming out of there as well. That Riftmaker and Rabadon's doing so much damage onto this team, even blowing up the Galio right there. But with that being said, Muzi might have to take a step back. You can't take every hook that you see there. You just seen like a little bit of instincts on him, seeing the Kalista, taking that hook. And that's the start of that last fight there with Prism going right back in. But if PNW can keep making these fights happen for them in a positive manner, they should be able to get away with this one. Aljun gonna try and take a 2v1 down here. I don't think he sits Prismal in the bush.
No, he does not. Taunt's going to be committed, Shattering Strike straight onto his June too, but the June is just going to continue to pile the damage straight onto Ariandel. Ozog's coming up for the peel now too. Magnet Storm's going to be able to hit lock up too. Ozog though caught between 3 of them, and the pointed arrow from max range able to snipe the enemy AD carry, and this Varus is starting to become, actually no, and not starting to, has been a massive problem for Polestar, and now PNW are going to continue to barrel down the throat of this bot lane, and with a Ziggs in your back pocket, pocket with these satchel charges, it could spell defeat right here, right now. Jun has TP. Are they going to try to push any further? No, they are not. They're going to take what was given to them and get out safely.
We're seeing the big problem here out of Kalista. Kalista, the biggest lane bully up there with that Draven, was 5-1 out of lane, was able to dive Ziggs over and over and over again. But PNW recognizing that, knowing that as soon as they see Kalista, it's all or nothing in those fights there. As soon as Kalista's on that map or in a team fight, there's 2 or 3 people from PNW locking that champion down and making sure that they're not able to do anything, not able to kite, not able to move here. Jun, I didn't think AP Varus would be the answer for this team right now, but it's definitely putting in the work. Ziggs coming right back out of a huge deficit from that laning phase here and making sure that champion was worth it with taking down these towers so quickly here. PNW found their way, hopefully, into a Game 2 win as they took down that bot lane inhib, and now they're looking to take this mid lane as well.
Definitely. Border, gotta be careful. That's one Ziggs Q. That does a massive chunk of his health bar already. Right now, you see a little bit of a flank angle coming out of Oriental. You're down 10k gold, though. I don't realistically know if you want to try and fight anything. Maybe they found a pick on the Meslo's dad, though, with the triple auto attacks off the Q. Gonna be able to find that knockup. Muzi is just frontlining for Arjun at this point. Prank is able to find the kill straight onto Oriental. The damage is gonna at least find a 1-for-1 that lets him all by. Sleeps up Muzi. So far, they're doing it, Polestar. They might be winning a fight. Meslo's dad still alive, still kicking, still fighting back. And it's a shutdown going over into the pocket of Hoarder, so they at least pick up 3 kills for the side of Pulse, but they lose 3 in return. Prismos is going to be able to stop Wind King's back, but I don't know. You might trade off your life for a Satchel Charge. Going to push you straight away. Prank is waiting around the corner for you to jump into the pit.
What an alley-oop right there by Wind King to bounce him off the wall and throw him right back into Prank right there. So great job at taking Prismo back. PNW playing with fire, though, in that middle of the fight. If Mezzel's dad wasn't as tanky and had all the cooldowns as possible, that fight would have went in a different direction here. As you see, that fight starting out here on the Raptor pit. Galio trying to be the contender here in this fight, as nobody's able to be in position to help him out. Will taking a lot of knock up there from the Nautilus here. That huge fight started out with Azog doing so much damage and being able to cut this one out, taking 2 or 3 members down here in that fight. The Crocodile was not able to join that fight either. Mezzel's dad taking so much damage, but staying alive and getting right back onto Azog and taking him out of that fight right there. And you can see them just cleaning up one after one after one, as that fight was just so split right there for Pulse. Pulse not able to find a great front to back in these positions, as they've just been trying to win it back and forth there. See the alley-oop again from Wind King onto the Rel, and then Prank able to pick that one back up as well. Wind King gonna get the final fight, but you have a Baron fight going on now.
Yeah, Prismo already down to a quarter of HP. Ajun pumping in the damage, has a double kill. The Crocodile's going to be able to find one, so no pentakill in this match at least. Will and Oriental in retreat mode, lilting Lullaby onto the Crocodile to stop Prank from being able to run them down in the dominance. But PNWs, they're smelling blood anyway. They're like sharks into the water, even though they have a Crocodile under their team. They're going to continue to press forward. They're smelling a game number 3, and realistically, there's not much that Polestar can do to stop them. The respawn timers are just too long. The damage is not going to be there. Oriental and Will making a final last-ditch effort, going golden in the middle of the team, trying to taunt them up, but unfortunately, they will fall. We're going to a game number 3. In true NACL fashion, we love it when these teams take us the distance. PNWs take game number 2.
Great job by them. And I will have to say, as I respect my maturity here, every grown adult should be able to admit when they're wrong. I was wrong. You can fight fire with fire. You can burn the whole house down, and you can take out a game 2 win right there by PNW. Great job by them to match the aggression and just throw a little bit tankier people at them. And make sure that you have Aljun on a carry champion, because they are the mid laner is the carry right now in this one. Wind King doing their job, though, being able to show up as well, getting bodied in lane right there, but not their fault, because they're having to do that 2v1 in that bot lane with the Rel and Kalista. So Muzi, knowing that they had to make plays elsewhere and get leads elsewhere as well to keep them in that fight. Great job at PNW. We'll see if they can keep the momentum going and keep it in their their fight style here in this game 3. Pulse, though, swap that one out and just go at it again. Keep doing what you do best, and that's fight.
Yep, for sure. Well, we're going to go ahead and throw it to a break. When we get back, we'll have our game number 3 in this Group C upper bracket sort of finals. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
All right, so let's talk about basically the future of Pulse Star here. So obviously we're still in our group stage. I think we're expecting that Pulse Star are going to go through top seed. And now we have to think about your future opponents. Of course, there's still Lotus, but I believe due to the bracket, you guys are going to be going up against Dragoons Goons first if you are going to be progressing through. We expect everything, these of course. So what do you think about New Pulse Star versus Dragoons Goons? And then after that, we'll talk about potentially the BO5 and getting your sweet revenge with Lotus. But let's talk about Dragoons Goons first with this New Pulse Star.
Yeah, I guess we got a bit of a preview in Swiss. I think it wasn't our absolute best draft, but they played it well. I think the brand is a pretty omega pick right now. I think it's punishable, but you have to be playing at a very high level to make it happen. And so in these kind of tier 3 OQ tournaments, the lower the execution threshold, kind of the easier it is to bring the win home. So I don't think that final Swiss game is fully indicative of how our semis versus Goons will go. Definitely in the forefront of our minds to be preparing for that match. I think respect to Lotus, but I think that semis might just be the real finals this time around. Don't want to give away too much, but we're gunning for Goons for sure.
Of course, yeah. Look, because I mean, obviously they won the last one, and when they turned up, everyone's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, these are the real people to beat." So, of course, you guys running into them, that might, if that is the case, will be the real finals. What are some things? I mean, obviously we know like Dragoon on the Cassante. Like, is that something that you're afraid of? You guys, I mean, there's a lot of counters to Cassante, but are you going to try to send it down towards shutting down? Right, and Taption, look, there's a lot of great players. What is something that stands out to you that they do, or their players, that is like, oh, this is someone that has to be stopped?
I think, to me, Kisno stands out as a very solid jungler. He plays pretty much all the meta picks. He doesn't quite have the wacky off meta picks like Dardoch does, but he's very solid. I think his like Maokai game in the final was a testament to him being like a cornerstone of what makes that team good. As obviously all their laners are very powerful, but being able to utilize that and make sure that there's no chinks in their armor is what allowed them to bring it home in the solid fashion. So kind of bringing it back to the mid jungle again, I think it's very important. But I think probably a way that we can get a big advantage is through top. Like, Dragoon has a lot of interesting picks, but I think Hoarder is a beast, and if we give him a good matchup, he will run away with the game.
All right. That 3v3 is going to duke it out. Top lane's going to duke it out. You guys are going to come out on top. And now...
It'll be a fist fight for sure.
Oh, yeah. Definitely for sure. Unfortunate BO3, but you got to put your best foot forward in these kind of series, these shorter series. So let's see if you guys get that upper hand, because then you'll be playing it.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a
All right, we're just about ready to head into draft for game number 3, but PMW's come out game number 2 with an absolute stomp, well, not really stomp fest, but an absolute showing in putting a statement down onto Polestar saying we can compete with the top teams. We can compete with you guys too. And we're going to bring it. We're going to bring it. And they're going to be riding momentum into game number 3. We just got a raid from Aegis, who was covering the Maelstrom game. So I believe that Maelstrom came out on top, though. I could be wrong. If any from Aegis, last time I tuned in, Maelstrom was winning. So if Maelstrom won or between that game, let us know into the chat, because the loser of this game, was we're about to head into the final match, will be going on to face the winner of Maelstrom's match to fight for the number 2 seed coming out of Group C.
Well, I thought the answer was pretty clear and who was going to win this game, but whoever wins and loses this one, Maelstrom's going to have a tough time on their hands. This team, both these teams know how to fight, and they know how to end early, and that's the crazy part about this. We haven't seen that even of these games yet. We haven't seen just a normal, 1-3-1, take the bases down. Pulse had a little bit of a showing with that in the game 1, where they took everything in the base and then ended that game. But these teams like to end early, and they like to get leads fast, and like to just throw everything they have at them right now. We did see that our PNW can just match that aggression there. That's what I didn't really see coming out of them here in this game too right now. So with that being said, are we going to see slower play styles here out of both teams? Are we going to see them completely wipe their game plans? Are we going to see them go twice as hard, though? That's what I'm really concerned about here. Is it was already nonstop aggression, nonstop fighting, back and forth out of both sides here. PNW recognizing that they had to send Muji out to these different lanes here, out in that mid lane as well. We've seen that the AP Varus completely carried that game with PNW on the backs of Renekton and the Xin Zhao as well. So great job at PNW to recognize that they had to just, I don't know if they had to wake up a little bit or if they just had to just tighten up and recognize what was going on here from Pulse. But we're going to see something crazy come out of game 3 here, either draft style or gameplay style. Whatever happens in this game 3, they're going to leave it all on the line.
Yeah, and this is a critical game for Polestar to win, because they will be, if they lose here, they'll be going on to face Maelstrom, a team that they fought last weekend, a team that could be cunning to come back for some revenge against Polestar. Maybe understands and knows how they play, so I'm expecting players from that team to be here in this stream, scouting out to see what else Polestar has up their sleeve and maybe prepping to go against this Polestar team once again. But if I know anything about Polestar in game number 3, they come out swinging. They don't play it safe. Last weekend in their game number 3, it was when we saw this Jace pick come out, was when we saw the Talia, the J4, very, very comfortable champions. The Ashe that was banned away from Azog time and time again was able to come out in game number 3, and they had a dominant showing last weekend in their game number 3 matchup. So if anything, I'm going to be expecting Polestar to ride that momentum into this next game here. But once again, all the champions you saw last match will not be playable in this game. That means that the Galio off the table, that Varus, which was a strong pick for PNW last weekend in their match against BlackRock, was no longer on the table. So what can we resort to? Well, Zeri is still on the board. Talia for Oriendo is still on the board. You still got Will's J4. Aatrox if Hoarder decides to go for it. Camille if Hoarder decides to go for one of those. Definitely some picks I'm looking at for Polestar coming into game number 3 to pull out the dub.
Yeah, one thing we've seen from Pulse that led to their downfall was the team fighting potential that they had on top of it, but they couldn't really execute it correctly there, as they were just split apart the map by PNW. PNW able to pick fights all around the jungle and execute them correctly. So you've seen PNW throw out a feeler hook there from the Muzi and the Nautilus, or maybe Cole throw jumping in on that Xin Zhao. And when that happened, Polestar was just reacting. They would throw all 5 members at them, but they would just be split apart the map here. So they weren't able to really recognize how they had to play this team fight out. It should have been pretty simple here on the fights they were having. The Kalista throwing in the Rel, and then Rel using their ulti, Lilia being able to follow up with that with their ulti, and then Jace being able to pick them apart on top of that Galio full slam as well. And didn't even see that happen maybe a couple times here, but when it did happen, it was just a little bit too late here. PNW was just way too far ahead. They scaled perfectly here in that mid game, even though the early game was just so hard there for that Ziggs in the bot lane being dove by the Kalista Rel combo here. They're able to come out on top and use that Ziggs to take down those towers quickly. Aljun just having the showing of his life here on that Varus, on the AP Varus with the Rift Maker and Rabadon's at 25 minutes in the game and just one-shotting even the Galio there. They weren't able to keep up with the amount of items and gold that PNW carried into that mid game. So that being said, we'll see this draft here. And I'm expecting some pocket pits coming out of here like that Talia.
Yeah, and one thing that's still on the board is Ajun picking Lee Sin mid. I've been said it every single draft because I just want to see it. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see the matchup last weekend that they played where he whipped out the Lee Sin mid. So I want to see it. I want to see it come out. I want to see what it can do. I want to see its power, what its potential. Will still not going to be able to get that Kindred. I mean, the second you let Will lock in Kindred, it's basically GG. Like I've seen him get to play Kindred one time, and the game was essentially over at like 15 minutes. He has like 7 kills already. It was absolutely disgusting, the performance that man has on the Kindred. So Azog not going to be able to lock up the Ashe once again. So we're looking at potentially the same 3 bans coming out from both sides, but that begs the question, okay, what's going to be prio picked here out of Polestar? Once again, 3rd game in a row with the B1, and what do you go for? Do you go for something for your mid lane? Talia could be a decently safe B1 pick here, could be flexed to jungle or to mid lane, but oh, no, the Hui gets banned away. They don't want to go against Prismo's Hui, and instead that's going to open up Ariendel to lock up the Ezreal in the mid lane.
Yeah, Ezra going to be first picked right there with the Zeri to answer as well. And talking about Will is able to play all sides of the map on this jungle lane here. I mean, Will's been outstanding in both games as well, making it known that both sides of the jungle are mine here when they play at their best here. So Ken and Zeri already picked out for PNW. They are looking to skirmish. They are looking to team fight. They are looking to make leads early here. We're going to see how Hoarder responds to this one. Maokai could be anywhere in the map in this one, so I'm not sure where that's going to go, but they're going to have to really go back to basics here for both teams if they want to play this continuous fighting style that both teams are playing right now.
Yeah, I believe that Will is going to be playing this one safe in the jungle right now. Maokai going to be locked up into the jungle. Rumble over into the top side against the Kennen. So that's going to be the matchup happening here as Rakan's going to be rounding out the bot side. I still don't think this is Zeri bot. I feel like this is going to be the Ajun Zeri mid. And we still don't have an 80 carry pickup. I believe it is mid for mid right now. Pick into the draft. But Rakan, they guess they want to nail that engage support. There's not realistically many left onto the table. Alistar's still around. That might get banned out here from PNW. No, instead they're going to go for the Nico. I think in a composition like this, Alistar will struggle a little bit because if he goes to play the disengage, there is so much CC on this Kennen, on this Rakan, that if he tries to disengage, he could potentially end up getting caught out. So it could be a little bit of a detriment. But if you do want to force that engage support while also playing disengage, Alistar would not be horrible here as a Yone's going to be procced. Okay, this, or Yasuo. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking of Yone. I think this is Yasuo Rakan bot side Zeri mid. And they're going to go for the Alistar lockup. I mean, against Rakan, Yasuo bot lane, it makes sense to play this kind of support. So what are we going 80 carry here for the side of Polestar? We could go Kai'Sa. Yep, Kai'Sa, a standard lock here. Not realistically many 80 carries left on the board. Either that you can go for. And now we're going to be rounding out the, I believe, top or jungle. Yeah, jungle. Diana into the jungle. Okay, so we got a Yasuo Rakan bot lane. I see what PNW is cooking.
PNW definitely trying to. I'm gonna call it cheesy. I like it though. It's good cheese. It's like Gouda cheese or some Colby Jack in there in that bot lane here with that Yasuo and Rakan combo. Diana, a great pickup as well. That's a Zeri bot lane. Okay, so yeah, look for Aljun and Colthrow to take over this game right now on that Yasuo Diana combo. It can work out so well so early, but with Ariendo being on the Ezreal, when are you gonna catch him out? And you're gonna have to do it quickly and efficiently as well. So look for a lot of just really a duo here out of the mid jungle for the side of PNW. With that being said, Pulse has a lot of angles to get in and get out. I do like the rumble into the Kennen. Kennen should be able to deal with the continuous burn and low cooldowns of rumble. Will, I mean, on that Maokai, not going to be able to be as aggressive in invading their jungle, but should be able to fight anything thrown at them. And I'm really looking to see who comes out on top, who comes ahead early, because we did see whoever gets fed early here in these games usually is taking that one out here in this series so far.
Last time I saw Ariendo on Ezreal mid, it was a dominant performance. Actually, it was just sniping people left, right, and center with the True Shot Barrage. While ProComs is feeling that PNW have the advantage with the composition drafted here. I don't really know if I agree. I feel like it's all really going to come... In the end, it's going to come down to how the players play their composition. Obviously, you've got Diana, you've got Rakan to set up this Yasuo. You know, Diana Rakan is always it's been a staple team fight win kind of win condition there to set up for the Yasuo to get the ultimates off. So it's basically PNW have put up a big traffic cone in the middle of their composition saying, this is what we're going to do to try to win our team fights. So it's going to be up to Polestars to find a way to kind of fight around that, to find angles to fight around that, to be able to not get caught in that Yasuo Diana trap that the PNWs are trying to set up.
I like the pickup of the Rakan down here. Muzi playing a different kind of game here. The same kind of play style with the engaging, but now you can kind of get out and not have to go head to head with Prismal, who has been so solid here in this bot lane as well, matching the support. Alistar combo going down in the bot lane and taking a lot of damage on here on this Rakan as they are down that level 2 power spike here on the side of PNW. Will gonna finish his Raptors and see what he can make happen here as mid lane going crazy.
Yeah, Ariendo coming out on top of that trade against the Yasuo. The Mystic Shot's going to end up landing first blood straight on over to the bloodthirsty AD carry, well, AD carry champion in the mid lane. We all know that mid laners feel as though mid is for mages. Trust me, I see it all on Twitter. Will is going for the invade on the Mezlo's dad. Will be spotted out though. Might have to come down to a little bit of a smite battle, but it will end up resetting. So he at least gets that off, going for trying to find some cheeky little invade angle. Meanwhile, Hoarder getting the better out of Prank so far in this top side, at least. Wave battle that's happening at right now. Hoarder not having a great game. Game number 2 up against that Renekton. Looking to bounce back. Gets stunned up by Prank. Prank has the auto attacks. Looking to be able to fight back forward. Doesn't have to... does not have the damage though just yet. But so far, Hoarder looking to be able to bounce back from the performance of game number 2.
Yeah, and Hoarder took a lot of that top side aggression as well. Gonna see if Aljun can have a repeat from their last game as Kennen going insano mode on the Rumble. Rumble gonna go down. Will flashing into the top lane. Prank is not in a good position here after that kill onto the Rumble. He's gonna try and get this one out though as he goes right back in
he's
on
gonna
the
turn.
win.
Oh, he wants to turn. Flashes for it. This is interesting. Maybe able to find the kill into Will. Will find the kill onto the jungler. Hoarder wants to desperately try to trade 1-for-1, but Prank just says thank you very much, gifting over 2 kills to the Ninja Yordle with the shurikens. Hoarder going to continue to apply that pressure and continue to try and just trade that 1-for-1. Ariando maybe caught out here. Meslo's dad's coming in behind the turret. The Mystic Shot's landing. Well, Ajun going forward. The Tornado's going to end up missing. The Windwall comes out in response to, and Ariando is just able to get out with their life barely.
I think we're gonna repeat in that sentence a lot here in this game. Zeri and Muzi down here fighting again.
Grand entrance, straight on to Principal. The Ignite's going to be committed. Flash forward to Wing King's able to find the kill. Azog now in desperate retreat mode as PMW, after game number 2, aren't giving breathing room to Polestar to find momentum in game number 3.
Here comes that replay here in the top lane. And we are seeing that Prank has no fear in their blood right now as they want to take on Will right after as well. They had a chance to get out of this fight with the E cooldown coming right back up, going to stun the Maokai in that huge wave right there. And just flashing right after that Q cooldown came down. Another auto, and goes and gets a 2v1 double kill in that top lane. Prank is feeling it after that crocodile domination in game 2. And you can see PNW has new life in them after winning that game 2, and they are ready to take this series with an outstanding lead going on in this game 3 that we have right now. 1-3 already, and they are playing Pulse's game better than they are in this series so far. Great job by them.
Yeah, Prank already building up the Fainted Ashes, potentially looking for that Blackfire Torch first item power spike. And now the neutral objectives are going to be spawning across the map with topside prio, mid lane shoved in. Mezzlostad's going to be looking to go for these initial Void Grubs, take them on spawn. Realistically, not much that the side of Pulse can do. It's going to be Will into that bot lane, won't nearly be able to make it up in time. Even though I believe Hoarder is going to spot this out, he can't fight the 2v1 because Prank has already been able to roam down with that wave prior, with that wave shoved. We see the Yasuo maybe looking to make a response too, but Ariendo's already going to get chunked down, is firing Mystic Shot after Mystic Shot, and the Equalizer just for the little bit of slow. Ajun has to be able to just use the wave to be able to dash out and live the poke damage, but all 3 Void Grubs have been taken. PNW, they get what they came for.
Yeah, they're definitely setting the tone here in this game 3 after game 2 being outstanding as well. Wind King getting a little bit aggressive here in that EW combo from the Zeri. We're trying to figure out if PNW can carry this momentum into the later parts of the game here, because that's when Pulse really shines here on the team count that they have with that Maokai, with the Alistar, with the Rumble, on top of the damage dealing Ezreal and Kai'Sa that need time to scale. Can PNW end this game before Ezreal and Kai'Sa get 3 or 4 items on top of the champions and just one-shot anything in front of them? With that being said, though, look for Zeri, look for Yasuo, and look for Diana on the other side of PNW
multiple
here.
Things here. Will might end up getting caught out. Mezzlostad comes on forward, tries to smite up the Gromp, but instead, or the Scuttlebug, but it will go over straight to Will, who's just W's in, trying to help the AD carries and support disengaged, but trades away their life. Another kill given straight on over to Wind King, and that's going to open up a dragon angle for the BNWs as well. They're going to be able to look to run away with this objective stacking. Wind King forced to burn out the ult. The killer instinct going to be able to come out of the Kai'Sa. The barrier has been procced as well, trying to trade at least 1 for 1, but has to burn out the flash. The ignite ticking away at the Azog as well as Wind King's autos. Maybe they can look for some sort of tower dive. It's going to be the Yasuo coming down. Ajun has the ultimate online. Decides no, wants to go straight back over to the mid lane, shove out that wave after the dragon has been picked up. We got a 5-1 scoreline, a 2K gold lead. PNWs are looking completely dominant right now.
Yeah, PNW after that game 1 just brushed their shoulders off, and they are back at it, and they have never stopped since that game 2 win here, and they are feeling confident. But we do see that 3 members of Pulse are going to be up here to try and get this Kennen onto a gray screen.
He gets the stun off straight onto a Hoarder. The Exhaust is going to come out as well as the Slicing Maelstrom. He wants to trade 1 for 1, but the Exhaust is going to be able to help deny that. Will able to pick up the kill. Hoarder going to shove this one back on in. Frank, no TP online, but at least has jungler around the area. Mezzlostad should be able to catch out this wave, so nothing realistically will be too lost. Mezzlostad able to get that XP, get that gold. It's going to be the quickness, procced straight into the combo that we see on the Ariendo. Has to burn out the flash as the Yasuo ult picked him up and put him down. He has to retreat under the turret.
We're seeing PNW come into their playstyle right now, and they are doing a great job of it, not letting Pulse think about the next move here, as they are already making a play before anything even happens. Great job by them to try and take down Ezreal in that mid lane with the Diana Yasuo combo. Ezreal just a little bit too flexible to get out of the to get into a kill right there. We're trying to figure out if Wind King is going to scale way faster than we think on this Zeri. Already 3 kills up, 9 minutes into the game here.
Oh no. Oh no, Ajun needs to get the tornado. The arcane shift already used that. Ariendo does not have flash either. Instead, is able to kite straight on over to Will. Meslo's dad's coming down though. The Scuttlebug is going to be online. They want to take this, get that vision pro. We still got about 3 minutes before Dragon, but this is going to be able to spot out any roams, any sort of ganks that could be happening toward the bot side, and gives them a little bit of gold. But Void Grubs are going to be spawning up here soon. It's the second set, and you know PNW, they're going to be wanting to take at least one of those, get that minimal number of Void Mites online. Prank Hoarder has already moved down though, trying to get up to at least some vision. There is, I believe, a control ward on to those Void Grubs. Or at least some sort of vision was proc. Meanwhile, straight engage the grand entrance onto Ariendo. Principal's there for the be able to peel and has to proc the ultimate. Nature's Grass comes on in. Muzi goes forward with the quickness. Ariendo's able to trade out 1 for 1. It's Meslo's down with the Diana ultimate. It's going to pull in multiple. And the slicing Meslo's going to be able to stun up 2 Wills, force the flash away. The True Shot Barrage is going to end up going wide, and everybody is starting to disengage. And it's a 2 for nothing trade out in favor of Polestar. They're going to ride this momentum into the Void Grubs.
That they will do for sure. There's a lot of cooldowns here. I don't think PNW has anywhere to go, but they're going to try and fight this
Frank
one.
wants to fight this still. Killer Ishii got an Azog's going to come on in. Porter's going to be able to pick up the kill. And Wing King wants to fight, wants to get in there, wants to brawl with the Zeri, but unfortunately cannot fight for everyone.
And that has been the story of this whole series. Even teams, even fights until somebody gets a lot of gold on top of this team here. That replay was showing how that whole fight started here with just TP after TP after TP. Aljun getting caught out there by the Maokai. Rumble being a huge pickup in this game as well. Throwing that ulti down, burning everybody, getting those health bars low as Prank wasn't able to make a huge difference there in that fight. Great job by Pulse to just know that fight was going. Prank still trying to put some damage down. He did see low health bars there, but Alistar, the cow, the bell was ringing, and it was time for Prank to go as they take those grubs as well. On top of that, we're seeing Will in a different situation that he hasn't been in all series long here. He is down in CS, and his clear speed is a lot slower than Diana's. Thankfully, though, Maokai is a tank, and the items are a lot cheaper here. We'll see what Diana wants to go. I'm hoping they go full burst.
What is Prismal doing? Prismal is setting up another gank under the turret in this top side onto Prank. They want to shut down this cannon and feed more into the Rumble. Already got the Hunting Geese, already has the Sork Shoes and the Faded Ashes. Nature's Grass going to end up going wide. Prismal trying to land the knockup, but Prank has the movement speed, is going to be able to disengage that full engage combo. But at least they're going to give Hoarder some breathing room, some space to be able to get a couple plates, get some more gold into the back pocket. We have a lane swap happening while all this goes down, as Azog has moved into the mid lane. It's going to be matching Ajun, shoving out those waves. At least that's going to send Ariendo into the bot side. Winning King, though, farming up plates for free, is going to essentially have a full turret of plates into the back pocket. As Prank does get engaged on, Ajun TP's on up to trade at least 1 for 1. So we had another gank hit that top side. Will, though, caught out between Meslo's dad and Ajun. As Ajun wants to land that tornado, unfortunately, it does end up dissipating, though. And they're just going to leave Will alone. Let him run away, let him reset. They're not going to go for the kill, and he's just going to continue to go back to the top side, I'm assuming, try and maybe get a little bit of a safer recall.
Prismal from the top to the bot and never stops here. Prismal always making a play, trying to get some vision on the dragon. Could be caught out though. Wind King, so much soul gold on top of them.
Quickness proc, grand entrance, gets the charm off. Zeri ultimate is committed. Arcane shift over the wall. Ariendo just tried for a little bit of poke, but Wind King is on a rampage, and he's able to pick up the kill 4-0 on this area. Already had that static shift online, looking to pick up the second item, and PW have started the second Drake of the game, and they have full lane pryos, mid and bot. Everybody can roam to this one. It's going to be claimed up for free. Will is going to have to respond, though, potentially with a Rift Hero, but he's not going to take it nearly as fast. Actually, he might have the perfect angle to be able to take it, because Meslo's dad is going to continue to push towards this bot side, looking for a tower dive, looking for a gank onto Ariendo. Does have the flash online, does have arcane shift. Is it going to be enough? It might not be. Gets engaged straight on a pawn. Muzi taking the turret shots, going so far 1 for 1. Arcane shift to Meslo's dad, but he has the dash just to be able to respond. As top side, we have another gank coming down on the Prank. The killer is sticking out of the chaos of Azog, is able to pick up the kill, so you at least get a 1 for 1 trade-off across the map.
It's just a repeat after repeat after repeat. These teams just want to fight. They want blood. They want everything left on the table here. We're seeing Wind King show a little bit of their skills in this game 3, though. That Zeri is online already at 14 minutes with that static shiv and the boots and a huge gold to spend as they get back into the base of their own as they took 2 towers down in the bot lane already. Azar did find the W onto Wind King. Could try and go for this. Has no ulti.
EPs. That's Porter coming straight on in. Meslo's dad maybe caught out in the tri bush here. Ariana has to use the arcane ship. Meslo's dad has to flash on over the wall, but Prismal's gonna be able to catch him on out. Azog is trying to run down Wind King. Once that shut down, once that 80 carry kill off, Will is gonna be able to find the kill potentially, but there's that Diana Yasuo combo just trying to clean up the fights. Will they be able to turn this around? It's quite possible. Will is really low on HP, but is able to flash on now. June is still in the thick of it, still putting down the fights. Will, maybe he gets a Yasuo toss straight into his face, and he's not gonna be very happy about it. The quickness out of Muzi just to get the grand entrance knock up to help Ashun clean up the kill onto the enemy jungler. They go 1 for 1 in the river battle, but it's going to be Polestar trying to find more angles, trying to continue to apply this pressure, continue to go for the fight. Musi and Ashun have to retreat away. The mid lane tier 1 is under threat, it's under prowess, and it will end up falling.
And this is the Pulse that we know. You take the fight, you win the fight, and then you get something else in return as well. You don't just stop there as they grab that mid lane tower. A lot of farm here in that top lane, though. Rift Herald is up for the taking. Azog starting to get some items, starting to get some gold on top of that Kaisa as well. Rumble coming in clutch here with that Leandries, burning down Wind King as they're trying to run for their lives in that bot lane, opposite side of the jungle here. We'll see PNW start this Rift Herald, and I don't think that here we have a replay going on the tri-bush here as we see that Mezlo's dad was trying to stay and try to get some gold as well, flashing the Dragon Pit. Wind King, huge E going across the whole map right there. Alistar following the Diana, though. Diana trying to get right back in with the Yasuo ulti and a huge pickup there, but Will and the Alistar just way too tanky for this team right now as Will takes the shutdown onto the Diana, and Yasuo still fighting this one out. Yasuo getting a huge pickup on a Will in the back end too. Dash and Q on top of that with Muzi on the Rakan, but there's so many members of Pulse all the time here. This team is so communicative in how they play this game, and it's a great job by them because the only way to keep it even is if you're continuously making plays as a unit here. You can't go off on your own, and we'll see if they can carry them out into this late game as well, as that was when they started to fall. In late game with these two teams, like 20 to 25 minutes. It's never 30 to 40 minutes, so we can definitely see 5 versus 5s here coming out over and over again within the next 3 to 5 minutes here. With that being said, if Pulse can't keep it together and can't keep their communication to a key, PNW should be able to come on top, but it's pretty much even here at 17 minutes.
Yasuo has finished up that Blade of the Ruined King, and so he's hit that power spike, the one before the 0 and 10 power spike, as we know Yasuo prone to have. As multiple members are starting to move on up towards this top side. They want to get this gank onto the Yasuo, maybe catch him off onto a rotation. Does have a 200 gold shutdown. Not a lot of gold into that pocket, but it could be. That's 500 gold off of 1 kill. Prismon is going to end up showing himself. I believe so. Jun should be aware that something is awry, something is a little bit messed up in this river, and that's going to open up Meslo's dad to push this Rift Herald straight down into the mid lane, and they're going to go for the 3rd dragon. This will be sitting at soul point for them if they are able to pick it on up. And Will, not in the area just yet. It does not have this river positioning. Look at where Prank is. Is roaming around in this jungle basically for free, just trying to dare anybody to walk in and get caught off guard, especially Will. It wants to find the pick onto that enemy jungler. That's going to be, gets the stun off, gets that Slicing Maelstrom coming online. That's going to be open up Meslo's dad's Q to engage with the Diana ulti. But where Meslo's dad is where Ajun should be. They are going to be stacked on each other, hand in hand. It will be spotted out that the dragon has been started, but Will is already towards this bot side, and it's not going to live realistically very long when you got 2 AD champs chunking away at it. But Polestar, what can you realistically do to fight this? They don't feel like they have the fighting power. They don't have the potential to be able to contest anything at the moment, so they just have to give.
And great job of them by giving that one. I don't think it's time really to keep fighting this one out. We are seeing an issue, though, with Will being on a slower clearing style of jungler here on that Maokai. Will is not able to play the game that they want to, and giving Pulse those kind of leads that they were used to, as we did see a lot of plays here. As I say that, Prismal and Hoarder are sitting in a bush waiting for PNW to check this one.
And here comes Frank. It's going to be the Killer Instinct 2. Azog able to pick up the kill. Muzi just flashes on out, trying to disengage. Diana trying to get the ultimate offline. Will be able to pick up 3, and that's going to commit the Yasuo, but Azog's able to get on a double kill. Looking for a potential triple kill. As Judas get the engage from the 80 carry, he's able to clean him on up. But Hoarder is able to get the 1-for-1 shutdown. As in comes Oriental, landing his mystic shots onto the back line. Muzi gets the Grand Entrance knock up, but it's not going to be realistically much. As Wind King, the last one standing, has to burn out the flash, has to retreat away. But Polestar found a fight winning angle.
Wow, we thought they were behind. They gave up that dragon, and then they just go right to a huge play right there on that top lane red buff, the enemy red buff of PNW. PNW is not done yet, though. They're going to send Prank back in the mid lane. Ezreal was not really there in that fight, but they didn't really need them there as Pulse came out on top, got 4 kills on top of that. Alistar being a menace on Yasuo, not letting Yasuo being able to dodge, move, EQ combo, do anything there after the ult from Diana. And PNW really looking like they're in a bad position after that fight. If you do see Alistar starting that fight off, being completely tanky, Prank going down so quickly here by Azog on that Kai'Sa, and the rest of these Pulse members are just grouped together and able to keep everybody peeling away from that Kai'Sa, keep that Yasuo moving, keep him off of the champions there. Azog did go down, but it could have been a lot earlier. As Ezreal comes back into that fight at the back end here, Wind King pew-pewing his way out onto this fight here, but there's so many tanky members of Pulse that it's just not enough damage out of the Zeri. Hopefully Zeri can get a couple more items on top of them to make sure that they can try and carry this fight out, as they have the movement speed, they have the mobility to keep these fights going, and they're usually going to be the last one standing on this fight unless they get completely blown up in that beginning of the fight here. With that being said, there's a lot more to come here out of this team. This is where both teams start to shine here, that 20-minute mark. 3 dragons for PNW, but now Pulse is in the lead with 2 kills, and the gold is pretty much even, but I don't think it's going to last for a lot longer here, as we do see a Baron play coming, and we have Prank looking to back up here in the bot lane, and we have a lot of pings here in this Baron pit. Whoever gets this Baron could end the game, but whoever loses the fight as well. This is where teams start to snowball.
I think Anti was very astounded by those caster minions there, as Ajun is going to get engaged upon. Killer Instinct's going to be committed onto him. The wind wall's already been procced on out, and they find a pick onto the enemy mid laner, but the mid lane turrets are starting to get run straight on down. Tier 2 is gone. They trade out a topside kill for their entire mid center, but they start at the Baron, doing the classical NA trade here. You get Baron, I get your base. But PNW, they're not going to continue to push onto the base. They're going to turn around. They're going to go for this flip onto the Baron. Prismal that has a little bit of a flanking angle, going to push away the enemy jungler. Nature's Grass going to be able to come online. Will it be able to find anything? No. Wind King and Muzi able to have the movement speed. So you get a pick onto the top side on the enemy mid laner. You get the Baron. Is that enough to find your way back into this game? Polestar is what we need. It's going to help you maybe solidify a gold lead, but the next dragon is realistically what you have to win. You've got to deny this soul, especially a mountain soul.
Yeah, Mountain Soul on top of PNW could be the shielding they need to keep them alive in these fights right now. Pulse has a little bit more damage on top of them. With this Baron, should be able to get some more items on top of that Kai'Sa and the Ezreal as well. Rumble being a huge MVP carry with Will on the back of him as well. With that being said, look for PNW to play a little bit slower here. Look for them to be a little bit more calculated, as they do not have the full-on just brunt team fighting that Pulse has on top of that Rumble and Ezreal Kai'Sa damage here. If they can get Prank, Diana, and the Yasuo onto some of these carries, they should be able to win these fights, as they are looking to start a fight here into the darkness of the blue side, the red side of Pulse here.
Yeah, both teams kind of desperately fighting for positioning, fighting for prio over this dragon. We got about 15 seconds till it's online. Keep your eyes on Meslos. Keep your eyes on Ajun. This Yasuo-Diana combination is what they want to fight this team. And look at Prank. How's the Slicing Maelstrom? It could be the engage tool that they need to begin to hit that combo if you can get a massive stun off. It's Diana flanking around. Meslo's dad looking for a huge one. Does get spotted out. Nature's Grasp going to be able to come online. And the engage straight onto the Diana. The quickness not able to find the charm off. As it's a huge ultimate coming down to 3 members. But Hoarder is able to trade out a kill on a Muzi. And his shooter is caught out in between 4 members. Exhaust on the Wind King. Flashing forward is Prank with a slicing Maelstrom. It's going to be a 2-for-2 trade. Ariano comes over the wall with the Arcane Shift. Able to trade out 1-for-1 at minimum. It's Will versus Meslo's dad. Jungler v Jungler here. Runs straight into a sapling though as Meslo's dad on the Diana. And who can come out on top? It's going to be coming down to the wire. The burn damage, but the good old honeydew melons in the jungle are going to heal back up Meslo's dad. And I don't think that Will feels confident in contesting this. Diana might have a free soul here. Picked up for PNW off that fight win.
Yeah, Will has no spite. He used it earlier in that fight right there, and that's going to be a free soul over to the PNW side here. Meslo's dad almost went down there, but the Rumble ulti was a huge factor in Pulse not winning that fight back there by the Dragon Pit in the bottom side here. I am so confused how both teams are so evenly matched right now in these team fights. I for sure thought that Pulse had that fight in the bag. PNW come out on the back end and win that fight on the back of Prank and Meslo's dad. With that being said, though, look for another fight to happen because they are not done yet.
Straight up engage into the jungle. The wind wall is not going to stop. Only one section of the Nature's Grasp. Quickness is going to be procced out of Muzi, but maybe able to be caught out. Grand entrance over the wall. Not going to be able to find a knock up with the True Shot Barrage. He's nearly able to find the execution onto the enemy support. But what can Polestar gain off this? They're going to spread out, try and catch out this mid lane wave. They don't have mid prio. They can't go for mid tier 2. Okay, we got to go for top tier 2. But that buys enough time for PNW to respond if they decide to defend this. They can move on up. It's going to be spotted out. Look at Meslo's dad coming around with a little bit of a flank angle. Is going to potentially run into Hoarder. The far side altercation is going to be able to spot out the enemy top laner. Where's Arjun? Does he have an angle to be able to respond? Void Seeker is just going to be able to poke a little bit at Meslo's dad. Prismal goes for the W, headbutt away. Equalizer coming down onto the river. It's a very tight angle to be able to fight here, but Pulse are starting to go for it. And Meslo's dad goes down, but not before the ultimate. He's able to find that knock up for Arjun. They re-engage. Prismal trying to knock the Yasuo back in, but it's a shutdown by Prank onto the back line, onto Ariano, one of the 80 carries, but Azog's able to respond with at least one. They're still picking up the top lane waves. They want to go for the top side tier 2. It's about the only thing realistically that they can trade out for. But look at PNW continuing to run down the mid lane. People have got to start recalling. They've got to defend the base.
PNW trying to get something out of nothing right here in that mid lane push. Diana trying to force a fight into a tight space like that is not able to make that happen. We see a little bit of chat right here. What is happening? I feel the same way, Slayer. I feel so confused in these fights. They're so back and forth. I'm not sure what team's going to win whenever these fights start out. Even the one that's engaging is usually not the one to come out on top right there, but great job by Rumble. Hoarder making advantages everywhere on the map right now with these team fights, and especially in those slight lanes right there. They're not done fighting yet. They're going right back in.
This Grand Entrance straight onto Prismal, caught out in a 1v5. This True Shot Barrage not going to be able to find much. Prank ends up giving away their life, caught in the mid lane, but we still got about 50 seconds before the Baron comes online. What can PNWs do between that time? They're going to push into the top side jungle of Polestar, take as many resources as they can, take as much as they physically possibly can from this Polestar team. They want to extend the gold. They want to try and fight back. And while Polestar have a bit of a gold lead, it's only about 500, 1,000. It's not realistically much of anything, but as we're approaching the 30-minute mark in this game, gold lead doesn't realistically about to start mattering. As about everybody on the Rift has hit that 3-item power spike. Ajun maybe finds an angle straight onto Will and Ariano. The Nature's Grasp gonna get blocked up by the wind wall, and Ariano has to arcane shift on over the wall. Order is there for a little bit of peel, but realistically, there's not much Polestar can do to fight back. The Baron is gonna be started on spawn. Azog and Prismal walking into the jungle, trying to catch out this vision, try and at least confirm the rotation. But the Nature's Grasp is not gonna be online for Will. How are they gonna re-engage here? How are they gonna be able to fight this with such a crucial ultimate gone? It's gonna be True Shot Barrage coming in for at least a tick of burst damage, but the wind wall's gonna be able to chunk it away. They still got Equalizer, and it's gonna come straight down over on top of the Baron. Quickness comes in as Prank goes into the backline. Azog's forced to go golden. Still not able to find much of anything, but the Diana ult with Yasuo. It finds 3, but Polestar are doing it. They're turning it back around. Prank is still in the fight though, trying to fight back, gets rooted up, goes Golden is Hoarder, fighting back, Polestar are doing it, but Wind King is still alive on this area, is still hunting for blood. The pew pew shots are coming all online, but it does not matter when the Mystic shots do more damage.
Wow. Okay. Take this back a second here, because I mean, Pulse is using their mobility and their champions to a perfection right now by spacing out from that cannon. They're gonna try and grab this Baron. I don't know if they have the health for it. Will is pretty tanky on that Malka, gonna heal it up. So thankfully, Ariendo's here to get that damage down. Baron should be down for Pulse right now, and it should be able to snowball the lead here into this mid game as we are seeing our first 30-minute mark here of the series. That right now, Will gonna have to take down that Baron, and now they will back and spend the greatly earned money that they got from that last fight right now. Wind King trying his hardest right now on the side of PNW to finish up these fights, but he just doesn't have the damage here on the Zeri. I'm not sure what they can do here to get this damage out. Prank gonna have to find his way into a better style of engaging here on this cannon, as I think that is the answer here. The Diana Yasuo is working, but it's just not bursting like it should be. Here we have the replay of the fight. Great block here by the Yasuo. PNW should be in the driver's seat in this fight right now with Prank on the back end to try and get this engage going, but it's almost like Pulse has a sixth sense here of knowing when they're going to go back in, and they're fighting right back in the bot lane.
Ajun is the one getting engaged. One TP's coming in. That's going to be Prank. Slicing Notion is going to be back online. Quickness with the double knockup is going to go for that. Great up. Yasuo ultimate Prank. Able to trade off onto Ariendel though. Yep. Finally gets the shutdown over on to the Ezreal. Looking for another tornado proc. Great Ninja's going to be able to knock up Azog and will end up falling. It's a 2-for-0 trade out. 3-for-0 trade out over on the side of PNW, and Wind King is still running it down, trying to find Will, but they can just go to the mid lane. They can group up. They may have a end game angle. 30 seconds until Ariendo is back online. It's just Will. It's just Prismal. They're going to at least fight for the inhibitor. Are we starting to see our first potential upset of the NACL OQ Summer 2? It's quite possible, as the first inhibitor turret's going to end up falling. They're going to push on into the mid lane inhibitor. And while the Elder Dragon is being taken by Mesosad and the Yasuo right now, it's being taken up. Prismal looking for at least the wraparound, trying to stop this disengage. Prank is a little weak, but that's the Elder Dragon. It's up and online. All of the members of PNW are going to have this buff. Prismal, you don't want to be there, man. Trust me, I know you can't hear me, but you need to walk away.
I was saying they needed more damage, and I think Elder Drake, seeing with the Elder Drake being taken here by PNW, they should be able to have that next damage dealing that they needed here out of it. Prank finally finding his way into another fight that was in a positive there for PNW. PNW, they've been fighting fire with fire, right? But it's just been so even here. It's like two flamethrowers that are just at a match right now, and they are completely leaving everything on the table right now from both teams right now. Pulse has a win con still, even though they're winning when PNW has a Mountain Soul on top of them. They're fighting through those shields and still winning these fights on top of that. If there's any team that can make it happen, Pulse should be able to. PNW getting a huge lead off of that one, though, getting the inhib down and resetting after the Elder Drake. Next fight wins. It's got to be that. There's no way the next fight isn't going to cause the winner of the series right now.
For sure. We do have a little bit of a pause happening. I believe Muzi ended up disconnecting, so we're just trying to pause our side of things just for a little bit so that we can get over the spectator delay end up happening. But I don't. It's Polestar have a hill to climb right now to come back against this PNW team. They're fighting against an Elder Dragon right now, and if my memory recalls, they do have Baron, so I'm not sure if they still have Baron buff by the time the Elder Dragon falls, so they can at least respond with wave pushing. So they don't really have to worry about the so no, their Baron has gone up after Prismal the only one with the Baron buff. So they realistically don't want to take any fights, if at all possible, right now, because that Diana Yasuo combo, while it hasn't really been doing much damage before, it's gonna do a lot more damage now with a Elder Dragon buff on top of you. So you really just try your best to push out these waves. I'm looking at a ward in their base right now. Ajun has TP online, so if they want to, if this PNW team wants to try and go for some sort of flank angle, they could, if they want to force a fight. They have Elder Dragon, so I'm expecting them to continuously force fights. But right now, they're just going to play it safe, push towards this bot side, fight with their waves, and continue to try and just bleed out the resources that, as we see the Equalizer and True Shot Barrage have to come down just to be able to clear out this wave pushing power.
Macro is the name of the game right now. If PNW doesn't go back to basics here, it's not going to be a fun game for them. But Pulse, I don't think they have the team fight capabilities ready to deal with this right now. PNW are so far ahead in their game. Even though the gold is even, the potential is all here with that Elder, with the Mountain Soul. Look at the shields going back onto PNW after even tanking an Equalizer right there. As they knock on the door of the bot lane tower, they could be cracking the base open. If all inhibs go down, Pulse has no answer to wave clear except the Equalizer and True Shot Barrage, as they're trying to keep up with the momentum that PNW is throwing at them. They either have to fight or just wait for them to get more items on top of this one. I don't think they have the time to do that, though. It's all or nothing here within the next couple of minutes here for Pulse, and they got so far here, and they did it with fighting. If you're going to win this game, you might have to just keep throwing your bodies at them to see if it happens, and if it doesn't happen, at least you knew you went out fighting. So hopefully Pulse can come together as a team and figure this one out. The only way they're winning these team fights is spacing. If they can keep the spacing together, keep that Kennen on his toes, keep Prank away from these carries, Azog and Adriendo can definitely put up the damage here to take out these carries on the side of PNW. With that being said, you have to check every corner. Don't walk into anything that's that's not lit up, and make sure that whatever you do it confidently here, because it's all on the table right now. It's all for the taking, and PNW wants it, and they want it bad, and they want to take it within this next couple minutes here. As you do see that they are playing the macro out. They pushed bot, they took the inhib, they took the mid inhib a little bit earlier here, and now top lane's the only one left for the taking, and they can send all 5 members up here without losing anything. You see Israel in that bot lane trying to shove these lanes out, trying to get some breathing room here, but PNW is just choking them out right now.
For sure, but right now they're just waiting out for this next Baron. The Elder Dragon buff is going to end up falling off here in the next minute, so they're going to go for this Baron buff. They want to continuously push out. Well, the gold lead, as we're approaching 40 minutes, is not necessarily going to matter too much. I mean, most of the members on PNW will be approaching full build, while Polestar is still going to be fighting to get full build onto their champions. So that's where PNW is going to be able to hit them with their wallets and going to be able to just item diff and item gap and like full build gap the Polestar squad if they're able to find angles to force fights, if they're able to go for the throw. But this Baron fight, Polestar aren't going to give it up without fighting first. Muzi is going to be engaged upon immediately. Quickness is going to be coming down, but the grenade is just not going to be able to find any knockups for Arjun, who has to burn flash to be able to retreat. The Equalizer's coming on down. True Shot Barrage for a little bit of poke damage. Just the Nature Grass going to be able to rid up too. Here comes Frank with the slicing maelstrom over the wall, but it's Arjun finding the kill onto the Oriental, bursting him down for this area to clean it on up. Porter is have to go golden, but is going to be next on the list. Will, the last one remaining, the last one standing, the last hope of Polestar. The TP's coming into the bot side. They're going to do it. Polestar are going to fall to PNW, but they're not done yet. They will go on to face Maelstrom for the number 2 seed, but it will be PNW coming out with the number 1 seed of Group C, as Will is the last one trying to make a last-ditch effort. But holy, PNW have done it. They've 2-1 Polestar to take the series.
Let's go! They came from the depths. They worked their way up here. They crawled out of this hole that they built themselves after that game 1. And you can see why this team is so cohesive here. Prank readjusting his playstyle, even though Kennen, you just dash at him, you are in. He looked for better engages rather than just 1 or 2 people. He found the whole team on that fight. That team fight was the nail in the coffin for Pulse. Great job by PNW. Great job by Aljun and Colthrow to get them through that mid game, and then Winking and Muzi, even though getting caught right there in that last fight was the game ender to start that fight out here. They threw everything at them. Pulse went down with their play style, and they left it all on the table there, right there. They left everything for the taking. They went in fighting, and they left fighting, and that's what you want out of a team right there. So great play by Pulse, but PNW are the winners. They are the victors, and they definitely proved themselves tonight. Great job by them.
Yeah, huge congratulations in order for PNWs. They are secured heading on over to the quarterfinals, where we do not know who they will be facing just yet. We still have a couple of weekends to go before we will be headed on into the elimination bracket. But overall, massive congratulations to this team. They fought valiantly and they came out on top. It was an entertaining match, to say the least, from both teams. Polestar, you still got one more left in you. You got one left in the tank. We firmly believe in you here on the Titan broadcast, and all the Polestar fans in chat. They still believe in you as well. They're going to be going up against Maelstrom, I believe, next weekend. I'm not entirely sure if the match is next weekend. I'm assuming it will be next weekend. So we will be streaming that match. So make sure you follow us over at Titan Esports as well as Polestar on Twitter, just to be up to date on when the match will be and when we will be streaming it. But Polestar still have a chance to make it to the elimination bracket, but they've got a hurdle. They've got a Maelstrom team waiting for them who want revenge against Polestar, and they're riding momentum off of a win here today. So they have a battle waiting for them, Polestar, and we will be here waiting to produce it. But that'll be all for us here on the Titan broadcast. Thank you, everybody, for coming out and watching. Thank you to Polestar for partnering with us to stream your NACLQ matches, as well as huge props to our girl Anti behind the scenes, as well as Chris. So that's going to be, we're going to give another shout out to Pro Comps here over at Titan Esports for a partnership. If you are looking for a virtual draft coach, looking to get help with your draft making decisions and need that sort of guidance, head on over to Pro Comps. And of course, shout out to the friend of foe, Esports Designs as well. So, but that's going to be able to do it for us here on the broadcast. Have a great night.
All my life, by my side. All my life, all my. One time from side to side. Without you by my side, my side, my side. Without you by my side. One time from side to side. Peekaboo, I see you, peekaboo, I see you, looking at me, looking at you. Hold up, where you going? What you doing? Who you seeing? What you need? What you want? I said, without you by my side, my side, my side.